Today, if you've seen the title of this stream, we're going to be talking about MeTV Tunes and kind of asking you guys what shows would you like to see on MeTV Tunes. MeTV Tunes is the talk of the town right now. A lot of people are talking about it. It's a big W for Warner Brothers, but just a big W for the animation community. Now, I know I have a couple comments in the section here, so I'm going to get through those. And I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody is having a great May 4th. And if you are a Star Wars fan, May the 4th be with you. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started into the stream right now. Let's see. We have Amy Jo Johnson. Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. We have Robin Mode. Welcome to the alternative MeTV. MeTV Tunes is the alternative from MeTV. Toonie the Tuna. Yeah, I heard about this awesome thing. Okay, you're going over the MeTV's characters, I would imagine. It can't be contained. It's MeTV Tunes. Awesome, awesome. Good to see. Good to see that you are a big fan of MeTV and a big fan of MeTV Tunes. So I really do hope that you are excited, which it sounds like you are. We have Kaylin Bryson. Hey, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Bill and Toonie is the GOAT. Yes, yes. So now that we're here, let me know what shows would you guys like to see. Just give us some suggestions, and let's talk about it because, I mean, this is big. We haven't had anything like this, MeTV Tune, for a while. Like Boomerang. I mean, you can say Boomerang is that, but this is gonna be like on Antenna TV. It's gonna be free TV for everybody to watch. I mean, it's gonna be on the fast streaming channels, so like your Tubi and your Freevee and all that cool stuff. So it gives people an alternative way to watch those classic cartoons that maybe you haven't seen in a while, or maybe you've wanted to see, but maybe Boomerang doesn't air them. It gives a good alternative to that. Let's see, Brent Allen. Well, MeTV Tune, will it be on a TV app? As far as we know, no, not right now. It's gonna be on the fast streaming channels, which is like there's like streaming channels on Tubi, Freevee, Pluto TV. As far as that goes, they could do a MeTV app in the future. That would be really nice to kind of have everything there. So we'll just have to see where this goes. We have King Flame Blade. How are you doing? Can't wait to watch MeTV Tunes. I know, right? I'm excited. Ever since this announcement, it's just been like a really big, like exciting thing, just for the community and just for animation lovers who love the Hanna-Barbera, the Speed Racers of the world, like the classic animation. It feels like, and a lot of you guys in my recent video, which I want to give a big shout out and thank you to you guys for supporting that video and just showing it a lot of love. It's at currently 6K right now, which is crazy because I honestly thought that video wasn't going to do well. But I'm surprised, and I'm honestly glad you guys are just as excited as I am for MeTV Tunes, because this is a really big thing. And I just, man, there's so much they could bring to MeTV Tunes. I mean, so many classic animated shows. I mean, well, MeTV Tune, will MeTV Tune be on Tubi? I would imagine yes, because they do have the fast streaming channels, but we'll have to see as far as a confirmation. But that's kind of my guess that they will be on those streaming platforms. So yeah, we'll have to see, because I believe Warner Brothers already has like some streaming channels on Tubi. So yeah, I could go on about it, but if you guys haven't already, check out the website. They have a website. There's like some information. If there's some shows that you guys want to see, make a suggestion. Amy Jo, you said you like watching the website. Yeah, it is really cool to look at. It reminds me of the old Cartoon Network website, where it was just all the characters just popping up on the screen. It was just like really cool. Let's see. Is MeTV Tunes Network going to launch in Chicago? Hopefully so. I would imagine it would release in at least the US, at least for right now. What's up, Carson? What's up, man? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, I hope that it will be in all places in the US. We don't really know. We haven't really had any more additional information, but I'm hoping we do. Let's see. My name is Abdullah, but you can call me QQ. Okay, QQ. Welcome to the stream, QQ. I hope you're doing good. You are a huge fan of cartoons. That's awesome. Well, you've come to the right place because that's what we talk about here. You've come to the right place. Let me know some of your favorite cartoons down below. Yeah, let me know some of your favorite cartoons down below. You're from Massachusetts. That's awesome. Awesome. Good to see tons of people from all over. Uh, I know I have like a lot of viewers from the US, but also Canada, England, some other awesome countries out there. Amy Joe, you are a filmmaker, actress, and musician. That's awesome. That's really awesome. What kind of films do you do? And also what kind of music do you do? Let's see. Can you keep me updated on MeTV Tune? Yes. Yes, Brent. I will try my best to keep you guys updated with all things MeTV Tune. As far as a confirmed list, I do have a video idea. I don't know if you guys want it, but I have had an idea to do a confirmed video of all the shows that we know so far that are going to be on the MeTV slate. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. Let's see. You're an independent filmmaker. Wow, that's awesome. Keep it up. Just keep up that talent because there are people out there who are watching. Regardless if you feel like they aren't watching, they are watching and they're seeing your potential shine through. So please keep that going. Let's see. I'm happy and glad that Scrappy is back in Velma. I've not seen Velma. Velma's not a show that I'm interested in. It's just not for me. But it's cool that Scrappy is in some way, shape, or form back. Regardless of if I feel that they've used him correctly, that's up to discussion. But I do see a lot of the discourse and discussion online about Scrappy. How should Scrappy be reinvented as a character? And I do think Scrappy-Doo, I think a lot of people give Scrappy-Doo too much hate. He's a flawed character, but I do think he can work in certain areas. With the right moxie and charm, I think he could become just as iconic as Scooby-Doo with the right people who write him. That's just me. Let's see. Come on, we need Pink Panther. Yes, Pink Panther, please. I love Pink Panther. I just wish, like, I just wish there was more Pink Panther stuff out there. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was a time where it was on Amazon, but I don't know if it's still on Amazon. Let's see. You said, wait, Amy Jo from Power Rangers. Are you a fan page? Yes, yeah, Pink Panther. Okay, you want a video on it, Brent. All right, I can definitely do that. Let's see. Evening. Good evening, Rescue Squad. How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. Let's see. King Cartoon. Hey, King Cartoon Artist. I am here, a big lover of cartoons. My favorite is Pokemon, Doug, Tiny Toons, and Captain Caveman. That's awesome. That is awesome. Some good Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and also some other good favorites that you have. Doug is definitely one that I grew up with. Tiny Toons, I will forever love the Tiny Toons. I hope MeTV Tunes will come to Boston, Massachusetts, where I live. Hopefully so. Like I said, hopefully MeTV Tunes will be airing in all of the states, and hopefully outside of the states as well, because I know I had some people in the comment sections from Canada. People from Canada also want MeTV Tunes, so hopefully they can air it there as well. And like I said, just some other countries too. MeTV Tunes should add Hanna-Barbera's Wait Till Your Father Gets Home and the Planet of the Apes cartoon from Filmation. Okay, I could see that. As far as will they do it, I mean, they have so many, like a big list of just kind of characters and just cartoon series that they could do. But I believe on the website you can actually should suggest animated shows, so definitely do that. Yep, and I can already tell Scrappy is following the footsteps of his uncle, Uncle Scooby. Okay. Amy Joe, in fact, okay, you guys are talking. Thoughts on the Nicktoons schedule? I don't know. I haven't really, tell you the truth, I haven't really watched Nicktoons in years. I don't really have cable. I mean, I have YouTube TV, but it's only like certain things that I watch, like The Simpsons, Futurama, but I'm usually on YouTube or I'm on Disney Plus or Paramount or something like that. So I can't really tell you as far as like schedule goes, but I hope like it's the actual good schedule, like they actually do show actual Nicktoons and not just tons of live action stuff. Is Cartoon Network and Boomerang Channel going to be still there if MeTV Tunes is launched? Yes, I still think Boomerang and Cartoon Network can coexist with MeTV Tunes because, you know, MeTV Tunes is giving people an alternative for those who don't have cable. Those who, you know, maybe don't want cable to deal with that. You can watch those classic cartoons on free TV. I think it's an awesome plus. And I think with Boomerang and Cartoon Network, you can obviously still watch those because there's going to be new shows that come out of the woodworks on Cartoon Network. And there's also going to be, I'm sure, a different lineup of cartoons and stuff on Boomerang. As much as I miss old Boomerang, I mean, old Boomerang was the spot. For anybody out there who would ask you, are you a Cartoon Network kid? Are you a Nickelodeon kid? Are you a Disney kid? I would always say I'm a Boomerang kid because I watched Boomerang so much. I mean, the voiceovers, the commercials, the little promos that they did. It was just like a really classic Hanna-Barbera homage, and I love that. And I miss that era of Boomerang. I really do. When they rebranded the channel, they didn't do it any favors. Let's see. Abdullah, you say FCC probably scared because of the popularity of cartoons. Yeah, that's the thing that I don't really understand about, you know, this fear of animation taking over. I don't get it because animation deserves to, you know, coexist with all the other genres of entertainment. You know, people can say, oh, animation is for kids, which that is a really redundant argument if you ask me, because animation is literally made by adults who love and are passionate for it. Animation is for all ages. It doesn't matter how old you get. It doesn't matter if you go out and ask an elder person right now, they're going to talk heavily about the Looney Tunes. They're going to talk about these classic shows that they love because it brings them back to a simpler time. And I think that's what animation does really well for people. It brings us back to a similar time when we were kids, when we, you know, and even as adults, when we're adults and we go through things, we have adult animation out there that teaches us these life lessons of how it is to be a grown-up, what it's like to pay your first bill. So I think animation is just an all-out amazing tool and genre to just keep storytelling going. Because there's so much you can do with it. There's so many elements that you can do with live action, with animation that you can't do with live action. Like I always say, don't underestimate Saturday morning cartoons. Facts. I miss Saturday morning cartoons. I really do. As someone who, like, a lot of you maybe grew up in the last generation where we had Saturday morning cartoons. The early 2000s, when you had ABC Kids, you had Jetix, you had Toon Disney, you had Fox Kids, you had the anime segment where they showed Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z and all that cool stuff. Like, we had that last portion of the Saturday morning cartoons, and then when the companies like felt like, well, maybe we don't need to do this anymore, they just completely cut it. And it sucks because, you know, kids nowadays, they don't know what Saturday morning cartoons, like, they don't even know what that means. You know, all they know is like when they get up in the morning, they get on their phone and they watch YouTube, you know? See, like you said, ABC Kids, Fox Kids, Kids WB, Toon Disney, Playhouse Disney, Jetix, Boomerang, Noggin, Discovery Kids, The Hub. Which one of these should they bring back? I say bring back all of them. That's just me personally. They should bring back all of them. Because they all had something there. Like, you you always were fed something. Like if you didn't want to watch The Replacements on ABC Kids, you could go watch X-Men. You could go watch the X-Men the animated series. If you didn't want to watch maybe one of the Fox Kids shows, maybe you wanted to go watch anime, you could go watch anime. Like there was so much like stuff that you were being able to have to consume as a kid that I feel like now with streaming, you're very limited. Say for example, like if you want to watch a Hanna-Barbera show, a lot of the Hanna-Barbera shows aren't even on streaming. So it sucks for people who want to watch certain shows and they can't watch them on streaming, and you sure can't watch them on TV because they don't air them. Because Saturday morning cartoons is the most popular thing. It was very popular at the time. And like I said, sadly, our generation, the early 2000s, was the last generation to have that experience. And it's sad. Imagine if they did Cartoon Network on NBC, similar to Nickelodeon on CBS. If they did that back then, that would have been wow. That would have been something. Because I mean, Cartoon Network in the 90s, I mean, they had so many bangers. Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken. I mean, the list goes on and on. The Powerpuff Girls. Let's see. I hope they put other DC animated series, Static Shock, The Zeta Project, Justice League, the first two seasons. Yeah, I could see that. Like Batman the animated series, Superman, like, because I mean they got Crypto the Superdog, so I'm like, why wouldn't you put other DC animated projects and shows from the past on there too? Super Friends. I know a lot of people in my comment section were hoping that maybe Super Friends would make it on the air, so I hope Super Friends does come because me and my dad, we when I was younger, we would always like sit down and watch Super Friends and the Legion of Doom. Like that was just one of his favorite things growing up. So it would be awesome to kind of just have that feeling back again. Yeah, the Boomerang rebrand is trash. Yeah, it is. It is. The Tunes are taking over again. I miss old Boomerang. Yes, I do too. Should DC have its own television channel? Yes, I think so. And I think actually I heard something a while back. I don't know if this is true, but I did hear that DC was planning to air their own DC like universe channel. So I could definitely see that being a thing. As far as like maybe animated stuff, I could see that too. They could probably do a mix of animation um and live action, so we'll have to see. Should Marvel have its own television channel? Well, there was also a report about Disney doing possible channels in the future too, and I would imagine Marvel is making Disney so much money and also losing money at the same time, regardless of the side of the coin that you're on. They could have their own channel too, so that's a possibility. Are you too old for watching cartoons or not? No, you're never too old to watch cartoons. And if anyone tells you otherwise, just ignore them because they don't know what they're talking about. You're never too old to watch cartoons. I was a Boomerang kid too. I used to watch a pup named Scooby-Doo and Snorks at my grandparents' house with the cool bumpers. Oh yeah, yeah, the cool bumpers. I love those bumpers. And a pup named Scooby-Doo. I can't tell you how many times the theme song alone has been stuck in my head. It was, ah man, I love that theme song because it's so catchy. And the Snorks are very underrated. I like, I don't really hear many people talk about the Snorks. So I hope they air on the MeTV Tunes. Yeah, DC deserves its own thing in Marvel. Yeah, you're right. I watched Power Rangers on ABC growing up. Oh yeah, go Power Rangers. Yep. Man, rest in peace to the Green Ranger. I you know some things that we grew up with like Power Rangers, TMNT, the Transformers. It was always, were you a Power Rangers kid? Were you a TMNT kid? Or were you like were you a Transformers kid? So those things go hand in hand. Let's see. I want Kids WB and the Fox Box to come back. Yeah, I wish those could come back. I miss watching Saturday morning cartoons from back in the day. I do too. The only cartoon I wouldn't mind is Star First Verse Forces of Evil and the Owl House. Yeah, because those are like current shows on Disney. I don't know if they still air them or not, but I know they were very popular at a time. They probably still are. Imagine if Cartoon Network was a subpar company like Nick and Disney. We'd have Cartoon Network Arcade, Cartoon Network Junior, Cartoon Network Games, Cartoon Network XD. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of the thing. You don't want to overshadow with too many networks because I feel like, in my honest opinion, Disney XD was always very weird to me because when they rebranded Toon Disney to Disney XD, I was like, wait a minute, are we doing skateboarding stuff now? Because that's kind of what the name reminded me of, like literally skateboarding. But they showed a lot of like live action stuff. I know Kick Butt Batowski was on there too, a few others, but I feel like Disney XD should have stayed Toon Disney. I'm looking at the site; it's incredible. Yeah, it's a. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's an incredible site. Let's see. Which years do you personally think Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon went downhill? I think when they started introducing a lot more live action stuff, I feel like that's when the years started going down. Because you guys remember that weird era of Cartoon Network where they started doing these live action TV shows and it was just like, huh? You know, like the annoying orange, It's Incredible show. There was like a couple other live action shows that they did that completely failed, but I feel like that's when, to me, Cartoon Network went down. But I feel like when they introduced Regular Show, Adventure Time, The Amazing World of Gumball, those shows, I feel like, Cartoon Network was starting to like make it back up. What I miss about Cartoon Network was that era of when we had like Class of 3000, Puffy Umiyumi. If you guys remember that show, which is, to me, I think Puffy Umiyumi would have definitely been a popular show now due to the popular increase in K-pop and J-pop music. So I think that show would have done really well in today's time. Let's see. What up, man? How are you doing? I'm doing good. How are you doing? Mache, I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. Let's see. Should Power Rangers have an animated series? They could. That would be cool. Because that would give them more room to do more things if they want to tell like bigger stories with the Power Rangers. I don't know how crazy they want to get with it, but they can. What if Kids WB never became CW for kids? Yeah, right. What if Noggin never became Nick Jr.? Yeah, there's so many like what if scenarios. What if these certain channels would have just stayed the way they were? Would they still have had the relevance that they have now? That's a good question. Robot Boy Foster's Home. Have you heard of this J-pop band called Shonen Knife? I actually haven't. I'm not too familiar with like K-pop and J-pop, but I do know it's like a very popular genre within a lot of people. So I do also know some people who are like big fans of that genre of music. So I hear rumblings every now and then. There's obviously like some stuff on the radio that you hear from J-pop and K-pop artists as well. It's just awesome. A long time ago, if you would have asked me like J-pop music and K-pop music being a popular thing, I think like it would have been like, really, that's like actually popular, but it is popular now, and it's awesome because music is so international and so diverse that you could find an artist from Sweden or England or wherever and just vibe with them because they make great music. I'm doing good, and you got it right. All right, Mache, awesome. I'm glad I got it right. We're just sitting here chatting, talking about MeTV Tunes and just some old throwback cartoons and stuff. So if you have any comments, you have any suggestions as to what you would like to see on MeTV Tunes and stuff like that, just comment down below. What if Boomerang Channel never rebranded? Yeah, what if they never rebranded? What if they just stayed how they were? I think if they would have stayed how they were, personally, I think Boomerang would still be like a channel people would talk about because you don't really hear people talk about Boomerang now. It's mostly like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, regardless if you talk about Nickelodeon for good or bad reasons. But I mean, each channel has their good and bad, so it's something to hold against Nickelodeon, but also Disney. You don't really hear anything else or streaming now, because that's where most of the shows are going to streaming. Do you think this is almost like a new Tooncast? I'd say this is more of like, hey guys, we're taking what you love from the Hanna-Barbera, the Betty Boop era, the Rubber House, the Rubber Hose animation, all the way up to the 2000s, where we got Crypto the Super Dog, and animation was kind of like in this more going less into cell animation and more into digital animation. I think that's kind of what they're going with the vibe of the channel as far as the lineup. Let's see. Remember Cartoon Network invaded yeah, they invaded Nickelodeon back in the day. That was so awkward. That was so awkward. Let's see. Oh, I got a question for you. What is your favorite classic cartoon from back in the day? That is a good question. For me, it's probably easy, obvious. You guys see on my shirt, I have Looney Tunes. I think Looney Tunes is my favorite all-time classic cartoon. Every time that I watch the Looney Tunes, it's just I love the characters so much. I will never get tired of Looney Tunes. Also, the old Mickey Mouse cartoons. Like I love watching the old Mickey Mouse shorts. Popeye is definitely up there too. I love watching Popeye. Betty Boop, uh, just all those like classics, and then moving up to like the 80s and the 90s when we got the X-Men animated series and the Spider-Man animated series, and just even like moving forward with the early Cartoon Network stuff up until like the mid 2000s, and then we have like the 2010s Cartoon Network and Gravity Falls and all that cool stuff. Just going through the eras of the cartoons. Let's see. Yeah, I hope Quick Draw McGraw is on there as well. Gets a comeback for Boomerang, so I don't gotta watch the DVD every time. Yeah, yeah, that would be nice. I like Quick Draw McGraw. He's a very underrated character, and the short that they would play on Boomerang with him just going back and forth and beating up the criminals would always make me laugh because it's just it's so hilarious how they did it. But it's very much ties into his character. What if Hanna-Barbera was still around? That's a good question. I think if Hanna-Barbera was still around, I think they would be a lot more vocal in terms of certain things that have happened with animation throughout the years. Now, I think they would, in some degree, like the way animation has gone in terms of the creativity side of it. But as far as like the business side of it, I don't think they would be as happy about it because let's keep it real. A lot has been going on with animation in the last couple of years or so. Shows are being canceled, acts left and right. I mean, we got full-on movies that are ready to be seen by people. Coyote vs. Acme, by the way, released that film that we can't even get in theaters to actually really watch. So yeah. Hey, Marvel fan, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good. What do you think about MeTV Cartoons Classic Cartoons channel? I think it's a really awesome. I think it's a really cool opportunity. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, and let's see what they bring on because there's so many cartoons that are like on that list. I'm like, how are they going to be able to fit all this into the schedule? But I'm sure they'll find a way. Tom and Jerry was mine during my childhood. Yes, Tom and Jerry. Yeah, I love Tom and Jerry too. There's so many like moments and just I mean Tom's scream is iconic. There's like so many like cool iconic elements and just like a lot of the art in Tom and Jerry too is like very pleasing to look at. To see Mache. Nice man, very good. You got good taste. Thank you. Thank you. You have good taste as well. Do you think MeTV Toon is going to be way better than Boomerang? That's a good question. We'll have to see when MeTV Tunes comes out. I can't really make a judgment right now because it hasn't aired yet, so we'll have to see. Let's see, Judy Jetson. Yeah, okay. I think Hanna-Barbera was one of the first studios to use computer animation in the 80s. Really? I did not know that. I actually did not know that. What was like the first series they used it for? I'm very curious about that. What if the Nicktoons came to MeTV Tunes? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that would be too much because I feel like I hope they wouldn't want to put so much on there that they don't have the time to put it on there because I feel like that could be a big con. That could be a big complaint. So I don't think they are going to. I feel like they're gonna stick traditionally to Warner Brothers. Like I could see Filmation stuff coming in, just that kind of stuff, just the more classic, maybe hidden gems, underrated stuff, like Two Stupid Dogs. Two Stupid Dogs was underrated. I honestly really enjoy Two Stupid Dogs, and I feel like that show doesn't really get talked about much. But it was just a very simple show. It's just about two dogs. And they always get into these like simple situations, and then you would have the man who would always be screaming, "That's because it's wrong." You know, he would always be screaming at the dogs and stuff. Let's see. Cartoon King artists. I hope they put animated movies on MeTV Tunes. I can see animated movies being put on MeTV Tunes, like the Jetsons meeting the Flintstones, just some other like animated movies, maybe some Looney Tunes animated movies that they've done. I could see that. So definitely, hopefully we'll see more animated movies, or at least some anime movies come on there. I love two. Okay, Kaden, you love Two Stupid Dogs and the newer Secret Squirrel. Yeah, that's another thing. Like Secret Squirrel also had its own little thing on there. I honestly, I honestly don't hear much about Secret Squirrel either. So I feel like Secret Squirrel is definitely another forgotten character in the Hanna-Barbera era that just doesn't get talked about much. But this is, like I said, this that's why this channel is so awesome that they're airing this, because you're going to be able to see those underrated characters, those hidden gems that people grew up with, that they loved, and it's going to build a resurgence for people wanting these characters. Maybe, and this is just a big maybe, but maybe Warner Brothers is seeing, okay, if fans are enjoying Secret Squirrel, maybe we'll do an animated Secret Squirrel movie. Because imagine how cool that would be. Like an animated Secret Squirrel movie where we see Secret Squirrel going on some kind of mission. And I don't know what they could do, but they could just do a full on movie about him going on a mission to, maybe he has to find like I don't know, some kind of artifact that got stolen or something. They could do something. I hope they put Mickey Mouse and other Toon Disney. Yeah, I honestly, when it comes to the Disney stuff, I doubt they'll put any Disney stuff on there, because I feel like with Disney, it's a different market. Disney wants to try to profit off as much as possible, even though Disney doesn't have a lot of their shows and even Mickey Mouse shorts on Disney Plus, which to me makes no sense. Because if your mascot is Mickey Mouse, but you don't even have all of Mickey Mouse's shorts on Disney, I'm like, Disney Plus. You know, I don't understand that for the life of me. You don't even have House of Mouse on there. People have been requesting House of Mouse on Disney Plus for years, and we still haven't gotten it yet. Oh, I got one more question for you. What is your favorite DC what is your favorite DC anime movies? Well, for me, it's got to be the Batman the animated series movies, the one with Mr. Freeze, and then we had the one with Joker. You had like Batgirl and Robin, I believe, on there too. I don't remember the names right offhand, but it's definitely those. Under the Red Hood was also another DC movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. So yeah, let me know, what was your favorite. What was some of your favorite DC anime movies? Secret Squirrel is also my favorite. Awesome. Will they air Totally Spies and Teen Titans? That's a good question. I feel like, because I isn't like Totally Spies getting like another show. I believe they put out like a trailer, but I haven't seen it. But I know Totally Spies is coming back. I know, obviously Teen Titans Go is on there, but as far as like the original Teen Titans, I don't know. They could. They could though. Let's see. My favorite King Flame. You said your favorite classic cartoon is Tom and Jerry, the Yogi Bear Show, Top Cat, Banana Splits, and the Jason something. I do remember the Banana Splits, but I never actually watched the Banana Splits. I just remember them having their song, like their theme song, playing, but I never tuned into the show. But maybe I should. Maybe I should. Anybody like the SWAT Cats? I don't remember the SWAT Cats. Could you tell me what the SWAT Cats were about? Marvel fan. For me, I grew up with shows like Scooby-Doo, Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry. Those are classics. Yes, very much classics. See, also, I don't know if you said it already because I came in late, but do you have a live stream schedule yet? No, as of right now, Marvel fan, I still don't have a live stream schedule. I remember we talked about it, I believe, last stream, and you said maybe trying to do it like more around the late evening hours, maybe around 6. So I'm trying to figure out like exactly what time I can do a schedule for that, but I'll let you know. I'll figure something out. That would be literally amazing. I wish Warner Brothers would do that. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a Secret Squirrel movie, like that would just be really cool for people who may not know who he is as a character, but also to fans who do know who he is. What's your favorite Nickelodeon show? Hey Arnold. I love Hey Arnold. I will never get tired of Hey Arnold. I watch that show so much that I can quote certain things, and obviously Gerald is like my favorite character. If you've seen on my banner, my channel banner, Gerald is there. But yeah, Hey Arnold is just one of those cartoons that I watch frequently. Obviously, like you got Cat Dog, you have Rocco's Modern Life, and things like that. Like I grew up with a lot of the Jimmy Neutrons, stuff like that. That's kind of the era that I grew up in when it comes to Nickelodeon. Let's see, Pirates of the Dark Water was great. Underrated Hanna-Barbera tune from the 90s. That's my first time hearing about Pirates of the Dark Water, so I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. Let's see, Real Ghostbusters. Yep, that I believe I saw that on the website that they're coming. That's true. I only watched the Banana Splits promo song. Yeah, that was like the only like memory I have of the Banana Splits. If I were you, I would do maybe 4:40 to 6 because it depends on which day you do. Okay, so towards more of the 4ish, 4:30ish time. Okay, I could try to work something out with that. Let's see, 1987 TMNT. Yes, finally glad that they put that on Paramount Plus. Do you ever watch Fairly Odd Parents? Yeah, I watched Fairly Odd Parents growing up, and where I dropped off on Fairly Odd Parents for me was when they added, like, obviously Poof, I was cool with. Like, I was like, cool, cause I've been wanting to have a baby. I'm with that. But then when they added Sparky the dog, and then I feel like that's when the show kind of went down for me. The animation quality went down, and then they added the girl that lives next door to him that he has to share wishes with Cosmo and Wanda with, and I was like, what are they doing at this point? It's like they have nothing else to go by, so I completely dropped off. I'd say like when Sparky was added. That was probably the point when I dropped off. Let's see, SWAT cats were two human-like cats who secretly fought crime. Ran through 1993 to 1994 Hanna-Barbera tune. Okay, I'm gonna look that up tonight. Do you remember Underdog used to be on Boomerang channel? Underdog. That sounds very familiar. Are we not going to mention Dexter's Laboratory, the Powerpuff Girls, Cow and Chicken, Ed, Ed and Eddie, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Foster Son for Imaginary Kids, Old Pokemon? Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can definitely mention those because those are great shows too, like very iconic shows. Obviously, Dexter's Laboratory is like a big one. The Powerpuff Girls, Cow and Chicken. Like I said, I grew up watching all those Ed, Ed and Eddie. I mean, the movie I that's probably one of the best animation endings for a show on Ed, Ed and Eddie was. And I know you probably hear that often, but I sincerely mean that. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy was able to do a lot of jokes and take things to levels that at that time, because like at that time it was like Billy and Mandy, I believe Flapjack was another one at that time. Chowder, they all three of those shows had that humor to them that was just like adults could get it and like children could get it, but it was just like very like it is very bold, very bold. Invader Zim and Hey Arnold were goats. Yeah, they were. It was cool to see how Hey Arnold in that Super Bowl commercial they did. It was really cool to see that because I feel like Hey Arnold doesn't really get that much love. I feel to see Marvel fan like how you did on Tuesday and Wednesday 4:30 that was like hit or spot on the weekend. And maybe like 6:30 if you're like doing now. Yeah, okay. Like I said, I'll try to figure out a schedule and I'll let you know. Let's see. You're working hard to be the best cartoonist in the universe. I'm making my own cartoon. That's awesome to hear. Listen, if you want to be the best, all you can do is just keep working at it and never give up. There's going to be a lot of people who tell you, oh man, no one's going to look at your work. No one's going to pay attention to what you do. But don't listen to them. Someone is always watching. Someone is always looking to find what you're doing. And someone will always find potential in your ideas. But always remember to have potential and faith and confidence in your own ideas first. And you'll do great. I'm wishing you all the luck. Let's see, Danny Phantom and Static Shock. Yes, Static Shock and Danny Phantom. Two theme songs that were stuck in my head for a bit of my childhood too. But also both great shows. I know they're doing a live action Danny Phantom film. I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest. Let's see, did you watch Kim Possible? Yes, I did watch Kim Possible. I mean, yeah, like Kim Possible, Brandy and Mr. Whiskers, The Replacements, The Proud Family. Yeah, a lot of those shows, like I definitely watched. I definitely got up because at that time, like I remember the schedule. It was like Proud Family, like would come on like 5:30 in the morning, and I'll always get up that early before school. And then you had Brandy and Mr. Whiskers that came on like exactly after. So yeah, I definitely watched Kim Possible. I hope MeTV Tunes plays some Pokemon episodes that will make my day. Yeah, they honestly, if they're doing Speed Racer might be their way to test if people want to see anime on MeTV Tunes. Because I know there's like a lot of anime fans out there who would love to see, like you guys said in the comments, like Sailor Moon and anime like Astro Boy as well. I saw a lot of Astro Boy comments as well, so that would be cool. Yeah, like you said, honorable mentions: Dragon Ball series, Naruto, Bleach, Sailor Moon. I don't know how to pronounce the last one you said. Tenchi? Is that how you pronounce it? Tenchi? Let me know. Let me know if I'm saying it right. What was like your favorite cartoon platform? Like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, so on. What was your favorite? I'd say it was always close between Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon for me. And I would always like go back and forth. Also, Boomerang was probably like the top one that I always watch. But then it was like if there wasn't anything on Boomerang that like I wanted to watch, I would go to Cartoon Network next. I was like, okay, let's see what's on Cartoon Network. And if there wasn't anything on Cartoon Network at the time that I wanted to watch, I would go straight to Nickelodeon. But at that time, with Nickelodeon, they stopped playing a lot of like the Hey Arnold and stuff. They had like other shows like Fairly Odd Parents. You had SpongeBob. You had some shows that maybe lasted like a season and then they were gone. Kind of like how Nickelodeon is currently. For some reason, shows can't last at all on Nickelodeon. It's really weird. Do you watch Codename Kids Next Door? Used to be on Cartoon Network. Yes, I did used to watch that. I haven't watched it in a while, but I did always used to want to see like I did always used to want to see like maybe someone make an actual replica of what the houses look like in Codename Kids Next Door, because they were always interesting to me. Let's see, Underdog was a talking superhero cartoon dog from the 1960s, and then it was later turned into a live action 2007 Disney film. It sounds familiar, but I probably haven't watched it, so I'm definitely gonna have to like check it out and see. Thanks for the advice, dude. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Danny Phantom game on Switch would be nice to see. Yeah, a Danny Phantom game would be cool. I don't understand why we haven't had one yet at this point. We've had TMNT games. We've had Nickelodeon All Star Brawl, but we don't have like as far as like Danny Phantom or other games. Well, also the SpongeBob games centered around other Nickelodeon characters. Billy and Mandy's pilot was the last cartoon ever produced by Hanna-Barbera. I always wondered what it would have looked like if they had produced the other seasons. Yeah, that is a really that like I said, that's like a really cool what if scenario. What if they continued doing production on the show? What would it have been like? I love it. Retro Tunes. Yes, Retro Tunes. Yep. Yep, what's the stitch? Yep, I remember hearing that so much. Me too. Me too, sisters. Let's see, Beethoven. I do remember Beethoven. That was the dog, right? That was like the actual. Was that an actual dog? Was there like a dog named Beethoven? I feel like there was. You probably didn't, because I don't think anybody did, but did you watch the Hulk animated series, the Silver Surfer animated show, the Fantastic Four animated show? I did watch the Fantastic Four animated show. Are you talking about the '90s one, or are we talking about like the Hanna Barbera one? Because there were two of them. But I do remember watching the '90s one, and frequently when I was little, I remember watching the Hanna Barbera one. Because at that time, I guess because they didn't want to promote violence at the time, so they didn't let Johnny Storm actually flame on. Those are some interesting times. Battletoads, Droids, Mario, and Captain. I've heard the game Battletoads, but I didn't know they had a series. If they had a series, they probably do. Let's see, cartoons and anime, the ultimate friendship. Yeah, literally. I mean, cartoons and anime go hand in hand. I know there's some people who kind of put cartoons in high regard. There's some people who put anime in high regard. But at the end of the day, regardless of how you feel, I think both are great and really cool mediums to just have storytelling. And when you're able to mix both at the same time, it just makes it even better. Let's see, what is your favorite anime too? Actually, I'll say this: I'm not an avid anime watcher. Like I obviously watched Dragon Ball Z, rest in peace, uh, Akira, and obviously Speed Racer. I mean, I literally have a Speed Racer DVD down here that I watch all of the episodes. And then, well, with Scott Pilgrim, they marketed Scott Pilgrim as an anime, but technically it's not really anime, it's more cartoon esque. But it was made by Japanese studio Science Saru, so I guess you can count that as you will. Let's see, Battle of the Planet of the Apes anime from 1978. I didn't even know they had that. Hmm. You guys are putting me on a lot of anime shows that I've never seen before or have heard of, but I don't remember. Do you remember watching Johnny Quest? Used to be on Boomerang. Yes, I do remember Johnny Quest. I do remember Johnny Quest. I remember I used to have a friend of mine who would always like get it confused with like Johnny Test, and I'm like, no, Johnny Quest. Johnny Test is the flame hair kid. Um, but I would always talk to him in school. I have a theory. They're gonna do a Marvel anime universe and bring back Spider-Man. Yeah, I can see that. I could see them doing that in the future. They're building up to it. Do you remember watching Wayne Head on Kids WB? I don't remember Wayne Head. I actually don't remember Wayne Head. I had to do a double. Let's see. Oh, I went up too far. I had to do a double take when I saw Shyland Showdown and Crypto the Superdog on the website. Right? I loved Crypto the Superdog. Uh, I used to like when I came home from school, I would always turn on Boomerang, and before that, I believe Gerald McBoing Boing. There was like not the old Gerald McBoing Boing, but there was like another Gerald McBoing Boing that used to come on before Crypto the Super Dog. So it always like try to see if mom could like get me home early so I could like watch Gerald McBoing Boing and then watch Crypto the Super Dog like right after. But it's cool that we're getting like for those who keep up with like the DC news and all that. It's cool that we're getting Crypto in the actual Superman movie. I've always felt like we needed to see him. I know we got the Super Pets movie like what last year, but I've always wanted to see just Crypto again, just kind of like a actual legit version of Crypto. See, funny, WB hasn't made a live action Johnny Quest or Herculoids. Yeah, that is actually interesting. I wonder if they feel like with Johnny Quest or the Herculoids, it's kind of something that maybe people don't know really much about, so that's why they haven't made it yet. So we'll just have to see. Honestly, I don't want to see too much live action stuff because I feel like that's really the problem right now is that Warner Brothers and just all these other studios are doing too many live action retellings of animated shows that and they completely lose the formula of what made these shows so great. Tales of the Crypt Keeper, Creepy Crawler. I hope Warner Brothers Animation make more kids animated series. I hope they do too. I hope they do too. Also, I was talking about the 90s one. Did you watch the Iron Man show either? I watched it a little bit. I didn't actually watch the Iron Man show. I didn't watch it. Do you remember sticking around from the Fox Kids? I don't remember that one. There's a lot of these shows that I either didn't watch or just don't remember them off the top of my head. Also, part two of my theory, when the Secret Wars, we're going to see those animated characters in live action and then some. Yeah, yeah, they could do that, but I really hope they don't because I really want the Marvel anime universe to be its own separate thing. See, go Speed Racer, go! Yep, yep. I could talk about Speed Racer all day long because for that to be like for that to be like one of the first anime and just kind of like what they were able to do back then, just it's a really beautiful show, and it's just like a really cool concept of just like a teenager wanting to be a racer and building this car that can do anything. I mean, saw through trees and drive up mountains. Always a really fascinating concept to me. I hope Hanna-Barbera Gary Coleman show gets put on MeTV. I could see it. Hopefully it does. Rest in peace, Gary Coleman. Fantastic Four has an 80s version without the torch produced by Patty Freeling because the show Torch was licensed for a show that wasn't produced. Oh, was that the reason why? Was that the reason why the Human Torch wasn't flaming Johnny Storm? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Don't forget about Funny Man, Doug Funny. Yeah, Doug. Which version of Doug are we talking about? Because there's two versions. We got Disney's Doug and we got Nickelodeon Doug. Let me know which one. Fabuki Haim. Hi. Let's see. What better comic universe, DC or Marvel? I can't really say because I enjoy both. I am someone who enjoys both Marvel and DC, so I can't really say which one is better because there's just both. But if you were to ask me which one am I more knowledgeable on, I'd say Marvel. Do you watch Birdman and the Galaxy Trio? Used to be on Boomerang. I heard about the show, but I never watched it. Let's see. I really hope Tiny Toons and Animaniacs. I could see Tiny Toons and Animaniacs because if they got Freakazoid and The Mask and Jeepers Creepers, Tiny Toons and Animaniacs was also around that era. So I could definitely see those two being on air on MeTV Tunes. Real Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters. I've actually never sat down and watched the actual Ghostbusters animated cartoons, but I probably should. What's the funniest cartoon universe? Looney Tunes or Hanna-Barbera? I feel like both have their funny moments. They both have their funny characters. Like you got your Captain Caveman, your Scooby Doo, your Flintstones, your Jetsons, and then you have your Bugs Bunny, your Daffy Duck, your Porky Pig, your Tweety Bird, Sylvester. So they both have their like funny moments. As far as which one's the funniest, I'd say Looney Tunes. I give a slight edge to Looney Tunes. I just saw Red Hulk and Captain America. Uh, oh. Okay. Alrighty then. Do you remember watch Adam Ant used to be on Boomerang? I don't remember watching Adam Ant, but I do remember like they had like this commercial with Adam Ant, and they did like a remix of his theme song. So I don't remember. I didn't watch the show, but I do remember hearing his theme song. But it was like a promo remix that Boomerang did. Let's see, three blonde Johns. We have Johnny Test, Johnny Quest, and Johnny Bravo. I love Johnny Bravo. That was like a show that I like hope that we see on MeTV Tunes. I don't know if they will, depending upon how people feel about Johnny Bravo. Because honestly, Johnny Bravo for me, it was never on some like perverted stuff like some people like to think. It was just like a guy who was always trying to like hook up with women, and he just did a horrible job doing it. And I think that was the funniest part about it. He just talked like Elvis, just because he wanted to talk like Elvis, I guess. Star Trek the Animated Series, Star Trek Prodigy, bring back Tiny Toons Adventures, and Animaniacs, baby. I wish I could. And like I said, I hope that they do. Solomon, what's up? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good. Yes, the three Johnnies. Johnny Bravo better. Yeah. Captain Planet. Yes, Captain Planet was also on the website as well. That's going to be cool. For those who love the environment and love learning about how we can save our environment and all that cool stuff. Captain Planet was one of those shows. You had that. You had the Magic School Bus, which I could honestly see the Magic School Bus being aired on there too, like maybe in the mornings for kids who want to watch that. Let's talk about the Nicktoons Doug first. We'll talk about the Disney brand sparkling new Doug later. Okay. What about Doug, the Nickelodeon Doug? Do you want to talk about? Captain Planet was so goated. Yeah, yeah. I remember they were wanting to do like a Captain Planet movie, but I believe they scrapped it. Looney Tunes for the win. Yeah, Looney Tunes for the win. Do you remember watching Angie Dog, Doggy, and Doggy Daddy? I don't rem. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yes, I do. I do remember that. That was the dog. That was the dog, and that was his son. Because I remember they had the Yogi Bear, like the Yogi Bear show with them on there as well. And they had like Huckleberry Hound. They had a couple of like the Hanna-Barbera cartoons like all on that one show. I do remember that. As far as like the original one, I haven't seen it, but I do know the characters that you're referring to. Yep, Speedy Gonzalez cracks me up. Yeah, that's the thing. Like Speedy Gonzalez is like he's a character that's like a rat that's just fast. But I know a lot of people feel like, well, Speedy Gonzalez is a stereotype, and yeah, you can make the argument he is a stereotype. But how do we interpret these characters? Is something that I guess it depends on the individual. How do you feel about it? Do you feel like it's a stereotype, or do you feel like it's just a character? Let's see. A lot of folks thought that the torch wasn't on the '80s Fantastic Four because the network feared that kids would set themselves on fire. I did hear about that. I did hear about that being the reasoning as to why. Will MeTV Tunes make their own new original series? That's a good question. That's something we'll have to wait and see on. That would be cool though to see them do their own original series, because that could give other people who want to join the animation field, that gives them another network to go to try to get their animated cartoons on the air. If Cartoon Network or any other anime channels don't want to take it up. The Fantastic Four movie is going to take place in a futuristic. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's see. With woke culture, cancel culture around, they'll probably throw a fit towards MeTV Tune if they air Johnny Bravo. Yeah, I could see some complaints being made with that. As far as if I agree with it or not, honestly, I don't necessarily agree with it because it's like, again, Johnny Bravo, to me, like the premise of Johnny Bravo to me, it always felt like he was just a guy who, was very insecure about his feelings and just very egotistical and confident about him trying to talk to women, and it just completely backfired every single time. Just backfired. So I always seen it as like it's just a show about a guy trying to hook up with women. It's really not that. It to me, it's not really like something to make a big blow up about, but I know people will. Do you have an estimate for how many in Deadpool and Wolverine? I know it's kind of random. I actually don't know. I don't know as far as that. I'm trying to keep away from stuff in general about the movie because I don't want to know anything about the film. Me and Doug Funny are some alike because we both love drawing cartoons. Yeah, that's the cool thing about these characters is that you can find a character in a show and you can relate to them. Like you can relate to Doug Funny. Somebody can relate to hey Arnold. Someone can relate to Billy and Mandy. Someone can relate to Finn from Adventure Time. You know, maybe similar stories, maybe similar personalities, and you just see yourself in these characters. What's your favorite iteration of the Looney Tunes? For me, it's gonna be the classic Looney Tunes. I think that era of the Looney Tunes is just forever the goated one. But if I were to say like an iteration, it would be definitely be the Looney Tunes show. I adored the Looney Tunes show. I really wish the Looney Tunes show would have gotten more seasons because the to me, if you were to do a modern take on the Looney Tunes show to me was the best iteration and example of how to do that. Now, not to say that the Looney Tunes cartoons that they aired on Max wasn't a good one. Like I enjoyed those too, but for me, if you wanted to bring more of a modern audience to Looney Tunes and bring Looney Tunes to a modern audience, the Looney Tunes show was the way to do it. Do you remember watching Dynamite Dog 1D used to be on Boomerang? I heard of it, but I don't remember it. Now, the big question, will Tune In With Me air on the new I keep saying MTV, on the new MeTV Tunes channel? That is a good question. Hopefully so. We'll just have to see. But I could still see maybe Tune In With Me could air still on MeTV in the mornings. And what they could do, that could be their way to advertise. Like, hey, if you want to see more animated tunes over here, like go to MeTV Tunes. We got it all covered 24/7 animated classics right there. I think that'd be a nice way to keep the advertisement going for the MeTV Tunes channel. The OG pitch pilot for Johnny Bravo in 1993 had three Elvis impersonators who became obsessed when they discovered him, and it was called the 3LV. The 3LV. The 3LVI. Yeah, the 3LVI. I see what you did there. That's interesting, though. Three Elvis impersonators. No wonder he sounds the way he does. Speaking of Speedy Gonzalez, he isn't targeted by the, but also Pepe Le Pew trying to counsel him as a result of promoting rape. See, like that's kind of like where these characters can get very like convoluted, because when I always saw Pepe Le Pew, I just always found him a very like mushy, like affectionate guy. I never really saw him as someone who I never really saw him as someone who was that kind of like perverted character like people made him out to be. I feel like we're in a time where it's like people find any and everything to try to cancel something or try to say that, oh, this was bad and it really wasn't as bad as people like to make it out to be. Now, some stuff was very dated and for its time, but also at the same time, there's some certain things that I feel like, do we really need to have this discussion if Pepe Le Pew should be canceled or not? I personally don't think so, but that's just me. I've just always found him an affectionate guy, and the thing that people forget to bring up is that Penelope Cat literally had interest in him, literally. But it's neither here or there. I hope the children of this generation will love MeTV Tunes. I hope they do too. I hope they do too. I really do. Let's see. I meant, how many cameos do you think there will be? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not expecting really many for Deadpool and Wolverine because that film, there could happen, it could not happen. I just don't want to get too caught up into the cameos because I don't want it to be another Multiverse of Madness situation. I love it either way. Either way. So the good thing is you'll see us on MeTV. I keep saying MTV for some reason. I don't know why. Ed and Eddie is going to be on MeTV Tunes. Is it? Did they confirm it? It's going to be awesome. Do you remember Boomerang Along used to be on the Boomerang channel? Yeah, I do remember Boomerang Along. They used to have those. They used to have like those like marathons where they would show like one show for like the entire day. I remember they had like the Looney Tunes marathon in like April. They had like the Tom and Jerry marathons in January. They had like a Flintstones marathon. I can't remember what month, and then the Jetsons. Like each week. Oh, don't dang! I forgot about Boomerang Along. Oh yeah, they used to do the karaoke. Boomerang Along was the karaoke. The Boomerang segment that they used to do where they would have like a movie theater and then they would like open up to whatever cartoon that they would show like a marathon of for that week. I can't remember what that segment was called, but I honestly like remember there used to be portraits of all the different cartoon characters, and then they would lead up to you showing like the cartoon character for that week that they would show marathons on. But I also remember Boomerang Theater too. They would have like the little wind up popcorn and hot dog and soda machine, and they would be like stumbling towards they would be stumbling to the movie theater. What I'm trying to say. Let's see. Yeah, Boomerang Along. Yep. Also, I forgot, where can you play the Funko Pop game again? From the video I did, you can play it on Xbox. It's coming to Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and PC. So pretty much all the consoles that you can think of. Nintendo, like I said, Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, they're gonna be there. It's gonna be there, so you can play it. Saturday morning is where it's at. Yes. Do you remember Saturday morning block used to be on Boomerang? I do remember Saturday morning block. I remember they used to have like was it Zoo Boomerang or something? They would like have this thing where they would go to the zoo and then they would play like Huckleberry Hound or like the animal characters from Hanna-Barbera. They would do like a whole segment centered around those characters, like the Grape Ape and Magilla Gorilla and stuff like that. Do you remember saying 1979 Boomerang come from Cartoon Network? Yes, I do remember saying. I do remember hearing them say that, which also brings up a good point because I know the voice actor for Boomerang. He's actually the same voice actor for Foghorn Leghorn as well. I didn't know that until recently. He did a video where he was doing the actual like promo from Boomerang when he used to do it. So I was like, wait a minute, I didn't know he used to do the narrations for Boomerang. So that was really cool. That would be cool if they brought him to do the narration for MeTV Tunes. Since it doesn't seem like Boomerang is going to do it. Woodley Classic Animation Collab would be the best, like for Looney Tunes and Danny Phantom. What do you think would be the best one? I'd say Looney Tunes. I'd say Looney Tunes. Thanks, I'm getting the game. You're welcome. You're welcome. See, we're all a big cartoon family. Group hug. Yeah, it's one big happy family. We're all here to talk about the same thing, and that's cartoons and animation, what we love, what we grew up on. And that's honestly like what I wanted this channel to be. And why I wanted to start doing live streaming is to be more interactive with you guys and just kind of sit and chat with you guys, what you guys like, what you guys grew up with, what you guys would like to see in the future. Because I can make videos about all this, and don't get me wrong, making videos are cool, but being able to just sit back and just chill and discuss things in the comments and just seeing your thoughts and just discussing it, it's just much better interactively. You're absolutely right. TV Tunes, Saturday Morning Tunes, and Saturday Morning Tune In with me every day. 7:30. Don't be late tuning. Do you remember back Boomerang Action back on? Yeah, Boomerang Action used to come on late at night. Yeah, Boomerang Action used to come on late at night because they showed like Batman, the animated series. They showed a lot of like the superhero action stuff late at night. I do remember that. I didn't know that either. Him narrating MeTV Tunes would be legendary comeback. Yes, it would, and I actually want to suggest that, but I don't know where I should suggest it to or who I should. I can speak words, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Who I should refer that idea to. I think they regret creating Spider-Man because they fear that kids will go and get Spider and try to be bit. Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man is a fictional character, and no one's gonna actually be bit by a radioactive spider and get actual powers. That's just not physically possible. But I don't know, in this day and age, it seems like anything can happen, but realistically, that's not gonna happen. You're not gonna, I would imagine you're not gonna survive a radioactive spider. That's just not something that can legit happen. But I know like kids will try to see things that they do and try to replicate it, but it's for us, you know, if we're older to tell kids like that's not realistic, that doesn't happen, so don't try to do that. I meant like if two shows were to have a couple episodes together, like Looney Tunes and Scooby-Doo teaming up, which one would you think would be the best? And that's what I meant. Well, I do have like I said on my shirt, I have like a Scooby-Doo and Looney Tunes like mixed crossover kind of thing. I think that would be kind of cool. I don't know why. I just think that would be kind of cool. I know they did like a little promo for like Warner Brothers 100 of like Looney Tunes and the Flintstones. I remember they did that too. Fun fact. Fun fact about me. I grew up with the Nicktoons first, followed by Kids WB, and then Cartoon Network in the 2000s. Interesting. See, like we all discover like cartoons and stuff from different networks at different times. Hey, Kid Flame, it's good to see. Okay, you guys are chatting it up. I missed the hub. Yeah, I do remember the hub a little bit. What was on the hub? Because I do remember it. What shows were on the hub? See, for some reason the X-Men theme song has been stuck in my head like all day. Yeah, the X-Men theme song is very infectious. It's very like catchy, and I'm glad they brought it back. Because fun fact about the X-Men theme song, Marvel actually got sued for the theme song of the X-Men animated series. So they were on the brink of almost losing the theme song, but luckily they brought it back. I believe Marvel won the lawsuit because there was a show in Sweden, or it might have been in Sweden, that had a similar tune as the X-Men theme song, which I don't believe they would have known that at the time. Do you remember the hub? I do remember the hub, but I don't remember what shows were on it. Does everyone remember Disney's Timo Supremo? Timo Supremo, that sounds familiar. Do you remember the Nickelodeon Gas Channel? I don't remember that. Let's see. What would happen if the Proud Family teamed up with Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur? Well, I mean, Disney used to do that back in the day, because remember Recess teamed up with Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch had a lot of crossovers. They crossed over with the Proud Family, Recess, Kim Possible. There's another show they teamed up with that I'm forgetting about. But they used to do a lot of those like crossovers back in the day. They don't do them. They don't do them much anymore. As far as like a iconic crossover, we haven't really had like an iconic crossover. Well, we did have like the Scooby-Doo and Courage the Cowardly Dog one, but I'm talking like as far as like an iconic one. I feel like Timmy Jimmy Power Hour was just like the one that people always think about. People always go back to. It would make a funky story with awesome hip hop song. Yeah, they could do a lot of like hip hop and R&B mixed with that. So Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur and Proud Family, that would be kind of cool. Let's see. Oh, by the way, have you watched X-Men 97? How was it? Oh, my God. You've come to the right channel, because I have been talking nothing but X-Men 97 on this channel since the beginning, when it was announced, to now when it's out, and I tell you, I love the show. Each episode just keeps getting better and better and better. So yeah, you definitely should stick around, because I'm definitely gonna do another live stream for episode 9, where we're gonna discuss that episode. So stay tuned. I'm glad to see you again. By the way, I subscribed to you as well. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you enjoy your stay, and I hope you can continue to support the channel and just continue to comment. Your comments are really appreciated. Everybody's comments have been really appreciated. Danvers, Tiny Toons, My Little Pony, Batman Beyond, Green Lantern cartoon, Batman the Animated Series. The Hub was the best. Yeah, if I would have known like the Hub was airing all of this, I definitely would have tuned in, because I mean Batman Beyond, Batman the Animated Series, Tiny Toons. I mean, come on, those 3 shows alone. That's enough for me to check it out. Do you remember Snick Block? I do remember Snick Block. I do remember Snick Block. Let's see. Lilo and Stitch teamed up with the Proud Family, dude. Yeah, they did. They did. They did have like a crossover with the Proud Family. I hope that Mucha Lucha makes MeTV Tunes, because there's going to be some early 2000s kids WB stuff on there. I watched Mucha Lucha as a kid on Cartoon Network when I was a kid. Yeah, Mucha Lucha is definitely one of those like underrated Cartoon Network shows that it feels very forgotten about. Mucha Lucha, my monkey's my gym partner is a monkey. Class of 3000, Puff Umi Yumi. A lot of that era where those cartoons came out, very forgotten about. Very forgotten about era. Because they maybe only lasted like 1 or 2 seasons, and then they were completely like canceled, which sucks. Because like I said, Class of 3000 is one that I always think about heavy. I was like, I wish we would have got more seasons of that show. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. I'm sad that X-Men 97 is ending. I am too. I honestly don't know what I'm going to be tuning into after X-Men 97 is done. I'm probably going to be waiting until June for The Boys to come out, which that Boys trailer, though, wow. But anyway, yeah, Mucha Lucha should be on MeTV Tunes. Hopefully it does. Do you remember the end block used on Noggin channel? I don't remember that, but I when I was a little baby, I used to watch Noggin, Ubi and obviously like those shows and stuff like that. Yeah, Noggin was definitely the place I remember the what was it? Was he a deer? No, moose. Moose. I think that was his name. Moose. And then he had the little bluebirdie that would always be beside him. So yeah, I remember Noggin. WBD doesn't care about that show anyways. MeTV should get it for cheap. Like I said, hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. Do you remember Toonami? Used to be, yes, I do remember Toonami. I used to stay up for Toonami. So yes, Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. That's all I'm gonna say. I loved Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. Now I started back rewatching the show recently because they've been airing like a 24/7 channel, like just strictly watching, strictly airing Space Ghost. But I went to go see if I can find the episodes somewhere, and I have YouTube TV, so I watch it from there. And I tell you, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, what they were able to do with that show, and just reuse those old animations, but still make it fresh in some way. I miss that kind of comedy. I really do. I miss that kind of comedy. Yeah, Class of 3000 was so cool. Andre 3000 really was, he really was cooking with that show. The songs, they never did release a soundtrack for that song, for that show. And I really wish they had, because I definitely would have bought it. The Day the Earth Blew Up is still waiting for a release date. Yeah, I've been hearing that. I really do. I hope we get a release date sooner rather than later, because I really do want to see that movie. And as soon as that movie does get a release date, best believe I will be going to go see it day one. Again, I'm a big Looney Tunes fan, and the fact that we could have gotten two Looney Tunes movies in theaters, so we don't really know if still we're going to get two Looney Tunes movies in theaters. It doesn't seem good for Coyote vs. Acme. I'm still trying to hold up hope. Hashtag release Coyote vs. Acme, but with the Day the Earth Blew Up, like I'm hoping we do get a release date, because like I said, we need a theatrical Looney Tunes film. I feel like that would be very big for Warner Brothers. I basically remember the hub a lot. Yeah. Do you remember theme song? Not. Do you remember the theme song? Not just the cartoon. We are Nicktoons. I don't. I don't remember. I don't remember the theme song, or like the cartoon called. I don't remember cartoon called We Are Nicktoons. There might have been like some promo called We Are Nicktoons, but as far as like a cartoon, not necessarily. Let's see. What is Bastion and Sinister going to do with Omega Red? Well, that is going to be something that we'll have to see next week. But all I'm going to say is, if we got Bastion, Sinister, and Omega Red, we're in for a war. That's all I'm going to say. We're in for... We're already in war, but we're in for a war in terms of the X-Men and that sort of thing. So you like that... You like that Nicktoons theme song. Let's see, the hub had G.I. Joe, Transformers, Dan vs. My Little Pony. Yeah. I didn't, like I said, I didn't really, I heard of the hub, but I didn't like watch it. But had I like known like G.I. Joe and Batman Beyond and the anime series on there, I definitely would have tuned into it. Yeah. Oh yeah, you remember that? Yeah. Who's better, Bugs or Daffy? I'd say it, depending upon the era of Looney Tunes we're talking about. Because I feel like towards the earlier stages of the Looney Tunes, I feel like I would give it to Daffy, because Daffy just had like this like very zany, like wild, chaotic, unhinged personality that I miss with Daffy. And then later on they made Daffy more of this like they made Daffy more of this like the guy who would always get the jokes on him, and just like very obnoxious. Very obnoxious. So again, it depends on the era. So I feel like Bugs in the beginning, he had like this thing where he was destined to be like a popular character, but like he wasn't popular. He kind of had like a slow build up to him becoming popular. I think as the eras go on, I think Bugs is the more popular character and more iconic. So I go with Bugs just for the reason of he had kind of like a slow upcrease. Meanwhile, I feel like Daffy had more of a slow decrease. and in terms of like character growth and just kind of what they did with this character. Did you know that a drag and drop animation site called Go Animate and CN had themes for people to make videos with? Hmm, I did not know that. I did not know that. Do you remember the Cartoon Network City era? Yes, I do remember the Cartoon Network City era. I really wish they would bring it back. It would be awesome to see Dexter's Laboratory, Dexter like interacting with like Gumball, or I don't know, Rigby interacting with one of the Ed brothers. Like I don't know, like I wish they would bring that those promo segments back because they were just always cool to see these characters just interacting with each other in just one big city. G.I. Joe Renegades. I think Rogue is going to die. I hope not. I really hope Rogue doesn't die because I really feel like there's so much more they can do with her character. But if she does die, I mean, that would kind of be like, in a way, like maybe poetic because she gets to, in a way, see the person she loves and she gets to be with them, though they no longer have life, if that makes sense. Space Ghost was super cool when I first saw it and still super funny. Every Space Ghost episode is free on Adult Swim app. Rest in peace, C. Martin Croker. Yes, rest in peace to him. Um, Also, I believe he's the bass player, right? He was like the guitar player for the theme song. And I know they did like a special tribute episode to him because I just watched that recently. And man, like that theme song, I always like hear that theme song, and that guitar riff is just I hear it in my head, and I love it. I think there's a theory going around that the Jetsons got their technology from aliens. That's an interesting theory. Would you mind like elaborating more on like just why you think maybe that is? To be fair, Daffy never wins. Yeah, yeah, true. I feel like the only time like Daffy won was like again like in his like early era of his like Looney Tunes shorts in a way. Like he got over on Elmer Fudd a few times. I believe he got over on a couple characters. Like obviously he got over on Porky a couple times, which at that time, him and Porky was like the dynamic duo was like Porky and Daffy. So yeah. Did you ever watch Ben 10? Any iteration because I love Ben 10. I never really got into Ben 10. Ben 10 was always one of those shows that I just could never get into. I do know like Ben 10 very popular when I was growing up and very popular even now. A friend of mine at Anima TD, check out his channel by the way. He had like on his watch, he had like a Ben 10 watch, I believe, or maybe a wallpaper of like a Ben 10 thing that he had. It was like really cool. He's like an avid Ben 10 fan. Let's pray on a miracle. Coyote vs Acme. Yes, Coyote vs Acme. Please release, cause I tell you, I need to see that film. Do you remember Cartoon Friday block? Yeah, Cartoons. That's where they showed off a lot of the cartoons that we know of today. Started out on Cartoons. If it wasn't for that segment, we wouldn't have Dexter's Laboratory. We wouldn't have the Powerpuff Girls. We wouldn't have Cow and Chicken, because that's where a lot of those like cartoons started from. Even Adventure Time was like a cartoons show, which by the way that got pitched to Nickelodeon, but Nickelodeon declined on it. Gee, I wonder how Nickelodeon would have felt if they actually accepted them, but that's something we'll never know. Also, the Proud Family. Fun fact, the Proud Family was also pitched to Nickelodeon as well, and they also declined it. So, yeah. I miss CCF, Cartoons Friday. I do too. I wish they would bring it back, especially for up and coming animators who want to bring like new shows into the fold and give the audience that like little test to see if people want a full series on it. But Caillou gets grounded, videos ruined, go animate. Yeah, I don't like Caillou. Caillou was always very annoying to me. Very annoying. I can't stand Caillou. Am I the only one who remembers Lunatics Unleashed? I remember Lunatics Unleashed, but I wouldn't say I was like a avid watcher of it, but I do remember it. Duck Dodgers for me was like another one that I loved. Duck Dodgers, and I believe they released. I did a video a while back of them releasing a Blu-ray disc for Duck Dodgers, like the full series. And Duck Dodgers is gonna be on MeTV Tunes, so I'm happy about that because I love Duck Dodgers. I'd say that's another Looney Tunes iteration that's like really did something really cool with the Looney Tunes characters. Over the years, Looney Tunes show becomes more and more nostalgic, but it sucks that Cartoon Network canceled it because it had more dialogue and more mature topics than most Looney Tunes cartoons. Yeah, and I believe that's what makes it so relatable is the fact that the show was very much mature and was just it wasn't talking down to children as opposed to like Baby Looney Tunes, which I know Baby Looney Tunes was marketed as like a baby version of Looney Tunes because I mean at the time you had Baby Muppets, you know, Scooby Doo, uh, the baby version of Scooby Doo. I mean they were going all out with the whole baby concept because Rugrats was so popular, and they were trying to market off that, but like the Looney Tunes show just felt very like relatable, mature. It was like the characters are like, you know what? If these characters existed, in the same time that I did, I wouldn't even put it past it because just the topics alone. Do you remember Cartoon Network theme "Summertime" song? Yes, the regular show episode, "Loving in the Summertime." That episode where Rigby got that song stuck in his head, literally stuck in his head, and it became like a big giant cassette tape, and they had to make an actual song to fight off the tape. Yes, I remember "Summertime Lovin'." Whatever happened to Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? Is the show still going to come out? Yes, it is still going to come out. We don't know when it's going to come out. There's been talks of it coming out in November, but we'll have to see. Like I said, maybe San Diego Comic-Con, but more than likely D23 is when we'll get more information on the show. When I watch Proud Family Louder and Prouder, I have a little crush on the new character Maya. Really? What do you like about the new character Maya? I did not know Proud Family was going to be a Nicktoon back in the day. Yeah, it was going to be a Nicktoon back in the day, and then Nickelodeon declined it. Do you remember Disney 365? Yes, I do remember Disney 365. I believe they used to go. I believe it was like these music videos, right? They had like these music videos, and they would show like the Disney characters dancing to the music that they had. I believe that's what Disney 365 was, or maybe it was just like regular artists that they had like their music videos. Star Wars: The Clone Wars was really good when it was on Cartoon Network. Yeah, that show does get talked about a lot. I'm not a Star Wars fan, so by any means, so I can't really say as far as like how I feel about the show. But I do hear a lot of people even now to this day talking about it. Which, speaking of that, Herbert, may the fourth be with you, and may the fourth be with you to everyone else if you celebrate it. Sony Sharrock, who did Space Ghost theme song, was his last album, and his last album was Axe the Ages in 1991. It was an extremely great jazz piece. Heard it a while back. Okay, I'm gonna make note of that. Is his music on Spotify? Because I have Spotify, so let's see. Lunatics Let Jet. I'm guessing that's like a reference from the show. The Looney Tunes show is actually crazily good. Yeah, it is. And the little music videos they would have in between, like Elmer Fudd obsessing over grilled cheese, and you had Lola who was singing like a patriotic song, and then you had Daffy who was like this fighting wizard character, fighting superhero wizard kind of character. Let's see, Caillou is an annoying brat who had soft parents and he gets in his way. Yeah, like there's one episode where I believe he wanted to go out somewhere. They were trying to go out somewhere and he got mad at Rosie and his parents like got on him and then like his parents were like, "Okay, we're not going to go on the trip now." And he threw this whole big temper tantrum about it. It was like, "Why?" Uh, I despise Caillou. I think they need to bring back Clone Wars. Yeah, yeah, maybe Marvel will bring it back. I mean, they seem to be doing some animated Star Wars projects, so maybe they will. Do you remember Cartoon Network City Era Summertime theme song? Not that I remember. I remember obviously Cartoon City era, but maybe Summertime. I'd have to listen to the song to kind of get a memory about it. Let's see. What you like about Maya is that she's tough and strong. Okay, those are very good reasons to like her. So I get it. I gotta go. Might hop back on later if you're still doing good. Thank you, Marvel fan, for coming in and just communicating and joining into the stream, and everybody who's just in the stream right now tuning in. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a good day, Marvel fan. If you come out, let me know. We'll probably still be here chatting. May the 4th be with you too. Yes, sir. Tiny Toons University, are they going to make more episodes? Yeah, I believe they are. I know they released like the second season, which let's talk about that because I feel like that show did not get marketed at all. But recently, the Clone High season, well, it's technically season 3 because it's still a continuation of the original Clone High series. That did not get marketed well. Jellystone did not get marketed well. And Tiny Toons didn't even really get any marketing, if any, at that. Because I had people asking me, like, wait a minute, a new Tiny Toons University season is out? I'm like, yeah, it's been out for a while. It's like, well, I sure didn't see anything about it, which really sucks. I don't know why Warner Brothers keeps doing this. I really don't. They really need to market their shows. So they only released like 5 episodes of the second season, and then they did the spring break special. So I did hear that more episodes are coming. I just don't know when they're coming. Let's see. Also, mind you, Caillou and I mind Star Wars, and Velma just positive because I love cartoons. Does anyone feel sorry for Samurai Jack? Yeah, Samurai Jack. That's another one. By the way, did anyone play the Samurai Jack game? I always wanted to play the game, but I just never had the time to. So let me know if anyone's ever played the game. Tell me what you thought of it. Let's see. Yes, Sony Shamrock's music is on Spotify. I was surprised I didn't hear about it more often. Yeah, I didn't know he had like actual music outside of the theme song. So I'll definitely have to check out his jazz music because I do love jazz music. I'm a big Cuphead fan. I love listening to the Cuphead soundtrack. That like jazz music is like very soothing. So that's up my alley. Ren and Stimpy, yes, Ren and Stimpy, which I believe Ren and Stimpy is coming back. I think I heard recently that one that like the first episode got leaked, but I don't know if that's true or not. But I do know Ren and Stimpy is coming back. Do you remember the World of Jet X theme song? I remember Jet X, but I don't remember the theme song. Like a lot of the songs and stuff from that era, it's gonna have to. Some of them are gonna have to take me a little bit to like remember. Waffle Woman, Powdered Toast Man. Hmm. Log sugar frosted milk. It sounds like a breakfast recipe. If I seen Caillou in real life, I would smack his ball head. Yeah, that's funny. Did you watch Disney's Chibiverse? Very funny as honey. I do remember seeing the Chibiverse, but as far as watching it, no. Do you think? What do you think is going to happen to Jubilee and Sunspot? I think we're gonna see Jubilee and Sunspot like unleash their actual full potential when it comes to power. I believe they're gonna get a little bit more serious because they've matured now. I mean, Jubilee is now 18, so she's gonna mature more and just be more discovered discovered into her power set. Happy, happy, joy, joy, joy. Yes. Do you remember the original Powerpuff Girls? Yes, I do. I watched the original Powerpuff Girls a lot when it was on Cartoon Network and when it aired on Boomerang. I used to stay up late at night because Johnny Bravo used to come on Boomerang, and then Powerpuff Girls used to come on afterwards. And what was so cool about that time is like, if you stayed up late at night and you had like all the lights off, like the Powerpuff Girls colors from the TV would just reflect off of the walls. I just thought that was the coolest thing growing up. Just the fact that, obviously with light and with TV light in the dark, it reflects off of, you know, the walls and stuff. Also, I know Craig McCracken did say that he said something about the Powerpuff Girls reboot. So there is a Powerpuff Girls reboot coming. As far as when it's coming, we still don't know. I don't know if there's been any information on that. But the 2016 one, we don't talk about Powerpuff Girls 2016. Was not a fan of that show. They completely cheapened out the Powerpuff Girls in all aspects. So yeah, I didn't enjoy it. But the original Powerpuff Girls, yes. Do you know on Twitter the reboot picture of Darkwing Duck has been shown? It has? It has. Really? What does he look like? I didn't even know Darkwing Duck was coming back. There's a lot of shows that seem to be coming back. I honestly did not know. Let's see. I've seen the Ren and Stimpy leak. The show is pretty good. It's going to be rated TVPG because it's definitely not as adult-like as the Adult Party cartoon, even though it's going to Comedy Central. So Ren and Stimpy is going to Comedy Central. That makes a lot of sense. Ren and Stimpy, just the whole dynamic of the original show. I don't know if it's going to be the same as the original show. It doesn't sound like it. But just it being on Comedy Central with like the likes of the Beavis and Butthead reboot, which I hope we get a season 3 announcement because I've been wondering why we haven't gotten any announcement for the Beavis and Butthead season 3 yet. It still sucks that we're not gonna get the Jody movie, which is like a Darius spinoff. It really sucks we're not gonna get that movie. And the movie was fully complete too. I was gonna do a video on that. There's just so much other stuff that came up at that time. I just didn't have the time to do a video on it properly. Do you remember? Yeah, Fox Kids. Yes, yes, yes. Got up in the morning, got my cereal, my Rice Krispies, added my sugar, my milk, X-Men, the animated series, Spider-Man, the animated series. Yes, I remember. We should have gotten Coyote vs. Acme. Yes, you're right. We should have. We really should have. I mean, the movie tested well, very positively. A lot of the people who worked on the movie have highly talked about the film. Eric Balza, which shout out to Eric Balza. He is the Mel Blanc of this generation. Eric Balza is just very talented, and just his voice acting abilities, and him like very pushing hard for this movie to be released as well is just us really great to see. And he deserves it. He works really hard on all of his voice work, and I admire it. He voices characters on X-Men 97. He voices the Sentinels. The man is just very talented. Do you remember the Fox Box or 4Kids? I do remember 4Kids. The Fox Box, I don't remember. Gotta go because the restaurant I'm at right now doesn't have Wi-Fi and won't let me watch anymore. But when I get home, I'll be excited to return. Awesome! I should still be here we're probably gonna keep chatting it up. So if you are, definitely come by. I'll see you then. Gladiator is an alien mutant. Is he? I didn't know that. I did not know he was an alien mutant. He does seem to have like that sort of a Superman kind of like vibe to him. Like the way he just punched her like that, and the way he just blew the guys out into space. He seems to have like a very like interesting power set if he's determined enough. Do you remember Ducktail? It used to be on Toon Disney. Yes, I do remember Ducktail. I do remember Ducktail. I do think Ducktail is another one of those series that I feel like there was an interesting concept with that. And then when they did like the reboot, I feel like the reboot just kind of felt like a completely different show. It felt like a completely different show than what we knew. I'm disappointed that Nickelodeon didn't do anything for their 45th anniversary. Yeah, I honestly feel like well a lot of these anniversaries with like Nickelodeon and even Warner Brothers like they just had their 100th anniversary last year, but to be honest with you, didn't feel like a 100th anniversary. It felt like they were more focused on Barbie and they were just more focused on Barbie and Wonka, which don't get me wrong, those movies, I see why they did so well, but also at the same time, it's like there's more to Warner Brothers than just Barbie and Wonka. You have so many like projects and stuff that I feel like the anniversary just wasn't celebrated. Let's see. What do you think about Cartoon Network's 30th anniversary? I feel like also as well like Cartoon Network's 30th anniversary. I made that video. I was like, they're gonna do something for the 30th anniversary. They have to. Only to my surprise, they really didn't do anything. And I'm like, that's a big deal. 30 years of Cartoon Network? Like, so much has passed by. Like, children who were watching it at that time have now grown up and their kids are watching Cartoon Network. You know what I mean? Or maybe, depending upon when you had kids, some people are grandparents now. So it's like they're watching Cartoon Network. Um, so it's like you would think that that would be a big milestone, but apparently they didn't seem to think so. Are we going to see Cyclops versus Vulcan? I could see it. At least Disney Channel did something for their 40th anniversary. What did they do for their 40th anniversary? I think the best anniversary that Cartoon Network did was the 20th. The 20th anniversary, I believe. Because they did like that really cool promo where they had like all the characters. Like you had Regular Show, you had Scooby Doo, you had like all these characters and stuff. And it was like they had the what's her name from Adventure Time? Lady Lady? Is that her name? Lady Lady Rainicorn? Like they poked Lady Rainicorn and then color just all dropped on them. You guys know which one I'm talking about. Hasbro doesn't even do anything for their 100th anniversary. I did hear something about Hasbro recently. I think they're getting back into either they're getting back into toys or they're getting back into video games, but I might be wrong with that. They live streamed it. Okay, they live streamed the 40th anniversary. So did they live stream like different shows? Were they live streaming like a big event to kind of like celebrate it? Like what actually happened? Do you remember Timon and Pumbaa on Toon Disney? Yes, I do remember that. I do remember that. The Lion King is one of those films that one of those Disney films that I think for just about everybody is probably up there on our list. If not top five, definitely top 10 for people's list. I'm not really a fan of what they're doing with Lion King now, making them live action. I mean, I know why Disney's doing it because the first one made like $1 billion, I believe. But I don't feel like it's necessary to keep doing these live action remakes of these animated movies that mean a lot to people. I mean, the Mulan one was just a disappointment, and I love Mulan. I love the animated Mulan film. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Like, and then when they did the live action one, I was just like, do we need this? Like, is this really needed? And it was just very disappointing. They really need to stop doing live action films with those and just stick to 2D. If Disney could go back to 2D animation and just good storytelling and banger soundtracks like they used to, I think Disney would really be back on the up and up. And I love Disney. Like I'm not trying to discredit Disney or bash on Disney, but I really wish Disney would just do better with what they're doing because they have so much property to work with to make very good potential things. They live stream different shows for Disney Channel. Okay. Thoughts on the Lion Guard? I never watched the Lion Guard. My cousin did, but I never really got into it. Do you remember Watch Teacher Pet? Used to be on to Disney. I don't remember that show. Have you heard of any anime called Kimba the White Lion? Never heard of it. What Nicktoons movie besides SpongeBob will Nick make? That's a good question. I mean, there was an era at a time where we did have some Nicktoons movies, but they didn't bode successful. Like we had what Hey Arnold, the Jungle movie, which I really had hoped that that movie really would have done well because I think we would have definitely gotten a revival for Hey Arnold, and I'm still holding out hope that we get a revival for that because I still think there's so much potential that they could tell with Hey Arnold. If not doing just the Hey Arnold show, maybe the Patakis, because I know the Patakis was like something that Craig Bartlett like really wanted to do, and it was gonna be on Nick at Night, but uh, they felt like the Patakis would be another Daria, which Daria was like a big show on MTV at that time. So you want to get into that competition. Do you remember? Let's see. Prince of Egypt, Road to Al Toro, Joseph Joseph King of Dreams, Spirit. So they showed a lot of. Okay, it's very similar to The Lion King. Okay, I have to check it out. I've never seen it before. Do you remember Watch the Buzz on Maggie used to be on? I don't remember Watch the Buzz on Maggie. Um, I do remember Maggie and the Ferocious Beast, though. I remember that. We used to watch that when I was like a little kid. The big he was a you obviously had Maggie, and then you had like the big yellow beast with the red polka dots on him. I only remember watching Disney's Doug, Kim Possible, Winnie the Pooh, and classic DuckTales on Toon Disney. Yeah, it's definitely like Kim Possible, Winnie the Pooh, DuckTales are some shows I remember. Also, House of Mouse was also another show. Fillmore, if you guys remember Fillmore, that's another underrated Disney show that really doesn't get talked about much. That I wish was on Disney Plus, but it's not, sadly. Looney Tunes back in action. The OG Space Jam put it on Max. It's not on Max. It probably isn't on Max. To probably isn't on Max, I would imagine, because they switch movies so much on these streaming platforms that one minute it'll be on Max, then the next minute it's on Hulu. It's just really weird. And the only way you find out if you find out the list of shows leaving Max at that month or shows that they're adding. Do you remember Tailspin? Yes, I do remember Tailspin on Toon Disney. SpongeBob gets his boating license and becomes a manager of a huge corporation. Patrick becomes a smart teacher and does something. Squidward becomes a famous clarinet player. Is that like a canon? Is that like your head canon for what SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward would be like in the future? So they're all like very successful, living their lives. What about Mr. Krabs? Is he broken? Did he sell the Krusty Krab, or do you think he sold the Krusty Krab, became a multi-millionaire, and he's got franchises all over? Like, let's see, Fillmore Gone, Disco Baby. Let's see, Mr. Krabs retires and passes the torch to the Krusty Krab to someone else to continue its legacy. Okay, interesting. So, who do you think it would be? Would it be Pearl? Would it be a brand new character we've never seen that maybe is similar to SpongeBob, or maybe like how SpongeBob started out, like a very naive but very determined to work at the Krusty Krab? Because I miss that era of SpongeBob, the early era of SpongeBob, where SpongeBob was just very naive and like very determined. Not to say that he's not like that now, but there's just some about the early SpongeBob that I love, like that the essence of his character. He just reminded me so much of like Pee Wee Herman, which rest in peace to God, what's his name? You guys Paul Rubens. Paul Rubens. Rest in peace to him. He also voiced Ivor in Minecraft Story Mode, which is like one of my favorite games growing up. One cartoon I want to see on MeTV's is Maya and Miguel. I do remember Maya and Miguel. As far as if they'll air it, I don't know. They could. As like a PBS Kids, yeah, PBS Kids. You know like when your parents couldn't afford cable, so it's like you had to watch like PBS Kids because that was like the only cartoon like channel that they had for like free antenna TV. Now with MeTV, you don't have to worry about that anymore. So now you can watch like another alternative where other cartoons and stuff. Because I know PBS Kids is more like educational content. Do you watch the SpongeBob spin-offs? I don't. I haven't seen any of the SpongeBob spin-offs. Sandy becomes a scientist and a famous rodeo star. Pearl becomes an influencer and a model. I could see that. Miss Puff retires and possibly gets married. So she does get a Mr. Puff after all. I can see Miss Puff doing something. Pass it on to a whole new character. Okay. Yeah, SpongeBob was very dumb in his early years of his series. Yeah, he was. But that was the charm. That was the charm of his character. Larry the Lobster becomes a fitness instructor and the Chum Bucket becomes very successful. Interesting. Did you cry at the last episode of Arthur? It definitely hit me in the feels as someone who like watched Arthur and then see like I haven't watched it because I mean when you get to a certain age you kind of stop certain things, but I said that I wanted to watch the last episode at least just to kind of get that closure with the series. And I think what they did with the episode is like very, very special. Because, you know, a lot of us, we grew up on Arthur. I mean, regardless if you've seen it from the whole punching episode or maybe just some other iconic episodes out there, like Arthur was like a very stable show. And I definitely see Arthur being like an artist, like either a comic book artist or just some kind of artist, just telling his story. So it kind of comes back full circle. Yeah. Any opinion on Peep in the Big Wide World? I do remember that show growing up, like little kid. Well, I thought it was all right. Do you remember McGizzy Block on Cartoon Network? I don't remember it. Cyber Chase went downhill. Yes, I honestly feel like when Gilbert Gottfried died, I feel like they should have ended the show because I feel like Gilbert Gottfried he's the soul of that show. Stitch, like he was just that guy, and I feel like again like when Gilbert Gottfried passed away, they should have just ended the show. Sheep in the big city. I wonder where everybody else was in the last episode of Arthur. They probably had some other things going on in their life. You know how when you're an adult, you can't always be at everything. Even when you guys get older and you get to like class reunions and stuff, you'll realize that a lot of your classmates, okay, like where's so and so? I wanted to see so and so. Well, they're busy. You know, they're busy with maybe a job or they're on vacation or maybe they just didn't want to come. You know, whatever the case may be. As an adult, you kind of just realize like there's just certain reasons as to why people don't go to certain things or why they couldn't make it. Reboot needs to be brought back. Which one? Which one do we are we talking about? See, thoughts on Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood? I don't know. Past my that was past my time on PBS Kids, so I can't really give you an answer on that. Do you remember Popeye Show? Popeye Show used to be on Boomerang. Yes, I do, and I still watch Popeye's cartoons even now. My one of my I think we're back. One of my favorite Popeye cartoons was A Date for a Skate. And the short was basically Popeye and Olive Oyl going to go skate. And Olive Oyl was pretty much very nervous and didn't really want to skate. But the way they were able to make Popeye move as he was skating, just like back and forth like this, I don't know. I just it's something really like charming about how they were able to like make characters move like very it felt very Popeye esque the way they did it. So that's obviously like one of those like shorts, Popeye shorts that I always watch. Thoughts on Peg and Cat? I don't really have a thought. Again, past my time on uh, PBS. Always stay a kid forever. Yes, there's nothing wrong with being a kid at heart. You can be an adult and still enjoy things that you did as a kid. There is nothing wrong with sitting down after a hard day at work or a hard day at college and you just want to sit back, relax, and put on some classic cartoons and just laugh your problems away. There's too much stuff that goes on in the world and too much negativity on the internet, and everybody's got something to say about this and that, and sometimes you just want to take all of that and just completely decompress it and watch something that you enjoy that just takes your mind off of it. And I'd say cartoons is that for me. There are like a couple things for that feel like therapy. Obviously, music is like number one. I could just put on music, and it's like I'm zoned into a different realm. Um, Obviously, animation, cartoons, movies, stuff like that. Video games, which by the way, now we're on the topic of video games. I got a new book that just came in today. So if you guys like video games, you guys know I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and I got this Spider-Man Miles Morales art book. Love Spider-Man Miles Morales as a game, and I just feel like the Insomniac series with Spider-Man, what they've been able to do, has just been really cool. I know people have their like opinions on the newest game, but I think Miles Morales is probably like my favorite all-time Spider-Man Insomniac game, and 2018 comes like number two, but it's a close number two because both of those games are great in my opinion. Not to say that 2 isn't great, but I just feel like there were some story elements in Spider-Man 2 that could have been explored a lot more. But that's just me. Um, let's see. You said I was thinking. I wonder where Arthur's parents and grandparents were. Yeah, I wonder that too. Did they pass away? Were they just didn't want to be there? I guess we'll never know. I was thinking that Power Rangers is going to be on MeTV Tunes, but it's not a cartoon, so it can air on the main MeTV channel. Yeah, they could expand more into like the live action stuff on the regular MeTV channel. Maybe in the mornings. Yeah, I remember a long time ago I watched Boomerang back in the early 2010s. Yeah, that the early 2010s was like the last time we got that, and then they rebranded, and then it just wasn't the same. And it's still not the same. What's your favorite Foster Home Imaginary Friends episodes? Off the top of my head, any episode pertaining to Blue. Any episode pertaining to Blue was just like one of my, just some of my favorite episodes. Because I like Blue. Blue is definitely like my favorite character in that series. Pee Wee Herman, yes, Pee Wee Herman. Uh, watched Pee Wee Herman growing up. Watched the 2 movies. They did a way back with Pee Wee Herman on Netflix. That was a cool movie, kind of a nice blast to the past. I'm a baby boomer, and I still like cartoons. Yeah, like it doesn't matter what generation you are in, whether it's the new generation, the old generation, you can still watch cartoons. You can still have enjoyment out of them because those things will never get old. Animation and cartoons are like music. You listen to people who listen to music from the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, and you hear the music and it still feels like that music could have came out in today's time because it's just timeless music. When you have timeless music, it never goes out of style. That's why fashion, everything that was started back in a grace period is all coming back now. It's all coming back now because it just never goes out of style. Do you remember watching Courage the Cowardly Dog? Yes, yes, yes. I watched Courage the Cowardly Dog so much. Creepy villains, hilarious, just hilarious hijinks. Courage was always trying to tell them all the time, Eustace and Miriam, you're in trouble. You know Eustace. He gave no cares. And Miriam, she was just so naive. But yeah, rest in peace. Rest in one piece. Ash Ketchum. Yeah, Ash Ketchum finally became the Pokemon champion after 25 years, and he said, it's my time now. It's my time to leave. And I think that's something bittersweet about that he was able to say, like, after all these years, finally the champion. My story is done. I am back. Welcome back, Brent. I think they were talking about making an animated Power Rangers series. They were? I wonder if they're still in talks for it. Or still are in talks. Do you remember Samurai Jack? Yes, I do remember Samurai Jack. Another great show. Another great show. And again, I really want to play the game at some point. Eric Bauza is an amazing person. Yeah, Eric Bauza, from what I've heard and from what I've seen in interviews, he seems like a really amazing person. Actually, on my one of my Coyote vs Acme videos, he actually like commented on the video, and that was like really cool because I was like, wait a minute, is this actually legit him? It was legit him, so it was like really cool getting that from him. I hope I get to meet Eric Bauza at some point. Maybe even do an interview with him. I think that would be really cool. Do you remember Grim and Evil? Yes, I do remember Grim and Evil. Sue Ellen, Prunella, Fern, Binky, George, Carl, Grandma Thora, Grandpa Dave, and his parents, etc. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know a Power Rangers anime series. Sadly, I'm not a fan. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, it's not for everybody. You know, all gonna have different things that we like and don't like. Some people grew up with it, and some people don't. Well, some people didn't. Let's see. God bless his soul. Yeah, Eric Belza, man, talented, talented. You guys remember Lil Ellen from Carnito? I don't watch it. Carnito. I believe Carnito is like in the Cartoon Network in the mornings, right? So I can't really say. I don't really watch it. Do you remember Evil Con came on Cartoon Network? It sounds familiar. I love going through thrift stores for old stuff and clothing, just like you say. Yeah, you know what? I should tell a story. Funnily enough, the jacket I have on right now is from a thrift store. I was a couple years ago. I had to go to a dance, and we had like themes at this dance, and we had to do like a military type style. So I had to find like a camo jacket. So I was like, okay, where am I gonna find a camo jacket? And to my surprise, I found a camo jacket, and I've been wearing it ever since. And bear in mind that this was years ago, but this jacket still fits, and I really like wearing it. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with shopping at thrift stores. Nothing, not everything is outdated. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Not everything is outdated. There are some things that are dated, especially now, because a lot of the things that were in it don't really relate to now. But again, like there are some things like music and like certain animation and things that are just very timeless. Like Batman the Animated Series is one of those shows that people look at and it's like it's a timeless show. You never get tired of it. Regular show, timeless. Amazing World of Gumball, timeless. Dexter's Laboratory, timeless. I mean, the list goes on and on. Do you think MeTV Tunes will play Animaniacs? I hope they do. I hope they can do Animaniacs and Tiny Toons. Let's see, Ben 10, Generator Rex. I do remember Generator Rex. The Secret Saturdays, Megas XLR, and Symbionic Titan. I do remember Symbionic Titan as well. Do you remember Hi Hi Puff? Yes, I was just talking about this earlier. Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. I do. I was just talking about that earlier. I was like, you know what? If there's one show that would have definitely been popular in today's time, it would definitely would have been that show, especially with the increase of K-pop and J-pop over the years. People, love the genre of music. I think they really would have. They really would have like been good for this era of today's time. The Evil Dead tree scene gross. Yeah. Thoughts on the song Ocean Man. Ocean Man is a very iconic song, mostly for the SpongeBob movie. Every time people think of the SpongeBob movie, Ocean Man is probably one of the first things that come to mind. Remember whatever happened to Robot Jones? Yes, I do. Juniper Lee. Juniper Lee was also another show in that era where it was like very, very like underrated, forgotten about Cartoon Network shows. Just that era alone with, like I said, Juniper Lee, a high Puffy Yumi Yumi, Class of 3000, Robot Jones. Like that era of Cartoon Network is just very forgotten about. You don't really hear people talking about it much. Yeah, my friends are Robot Jones. I missed him. Remember the sheep in Big City? Yes, I remember Class 3000, Time Squad. To be frank, ever since Chris Savio was fired from the Loud House, the show went down. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Loud House. Never really been a fan of it. So yeah, I don't really have any comments on that. Mike and Luke, that sounds familiar. I remember all the tunes. I remember the Transformers animated cartoon. Yes, I do. Camp Lazlo used to be on Cartoon Network. Yes, it did. It did. Camp Lazlo was another one of those like shows around that time with like Flapjack and Chowder. Uh, IGPX. I don't really have any thoughts on that show. Yeah, I don't remember it. Yin Yang Yo, I do remember Yin Yang Yo. I do remember that. A lot of the shows you're talking about, Squirrel Boy, Robot Boy, yes, I remember a lot of those shows, like Cartoon Network. Like I said, just a very forgotten about Cartoon Network era. Does Ocean Man go good with every ending? Not necessarily. Like if you were to put Ocean Man at the end of, like, I don't know, Oppenheimer, I don't think it would. I don't think it would fare well. That's just me. As a kid, I remember watching Power Rangers Super Mega Force, and in my opinion, it was the best Power Rangers season ever. Okay, okay, so you like the Super Mega Force. So were you a fan of Mighty Morphins, or what other seasons did you like? That's too bad that you don't like the Loud House. Yeah, I've never been a fan of the Loud House. I see the appeal of it, but I see the Loud House is honestly like another. It's another one of Nickelodeon's like cash cows. Like how many spin-offs can we make of this show? How many let's do a live action one. Like it reminds me of like the Fairly Odd Parents for a little bit because remember Fairly Odd Parents had like a what two live action movies. One was like a regular one, then they had one that was like a Christmas movie. Again, like I said, Nickelodeon had that weird period too where they were doing a lot of like live action shows. Do you guys remember the YouTuber Fred? The annoying YouTuber Fred with the squealing voice? He had his own show at one point. It was a very weird time on Nickelodeon. Do you remember Martin Mystery? Sounds familiar. Legion of Superheroes. Yes, I do remember Legion of Superheroes. I didn't watch the Green Lantern series. Don't forget Coco Fred too. About Coconut Fred too. Yeah, Coconut Fred. I'm back. Hey, welcome back, Marvel fan. What are we talking about? We're just talking about some underrated cartoon series from back in the day, or cartoon series you don't really hear much about. Did you guys watch 16? Yes, I did watch 16. I did. 16 had a lot of jokes in there, a lot of humor in there that I'm like, wait a minute, did they really just say that on here? You know, looking back at it now. But again, back then, like those shows, they had that kind of comedy. They could get away with it. Could they get away with it now? No, because I mean, it's a different time now. I was into the Power Rangers Megaforce series as a kid. Gotcha. Thoughts on a website TV tropes? I don't really have thoughts on it. It's there. It's kind of like the channel Cinema Sins. If you want to watch it, you can. If you don't want to watch it, not really. Cinema Sins just isn't something I particularly care about. I don't really want to. I don't necessarily want to really care about hearing about all the cinema sins and extra sins you put in a movie just because for whatever jokes, ha ha ha. Just not for me. Do you remember Adventure Time? Yes, yes. Adventure Time. How I could not forget. Mighty B. Yes, Mighty B is another one of those like shows that came out at that time. Just like just very forgotten about and lost. But yeah, I do remember Mighty B. Remember Fred? He has like three. Yeah, Fred had like three movies. Then he had a TV show. Then he had a cartoon at one time. Ugh, I tell you, I got so tired of hearing his voice. Just ugh. I don't know why I made that noise, but remember Uncle Grandpa? Yes, I do remember Uncle Grandpa, and I'm gonna say this. This is gonna be a hot take. Uncle Grandpa is overhated. I think Uncle Grandpa is overhated. I don't know what Uncle Grandpa has done to make people turn against him, but I've never really had a problem with Uncle Grandpa. Pizza Steve! Pizza Steve, man. Thoughts on Skibbity Toilet? I have no idea what that is. Let's see. 16 should have been for teenagers. Yeah, it should have been for teenagers because it just had that vibe. It definitely didn't. It definitely wasn't a kids show with a lot of the jokes they made. Saturday morning cartoons should make a comeback. With who? With me. Yeah, they should come back. And I hope that Saturday morning cartoons do come back. Because I feel like kids now definitely need it. Total Drama Island, 16, Stoked, and Stoked aren't for kids. No, they are not. My goodness. Especially Total Drama. Total Drama had so many adult jokes within the show that I'm like, did Cartoon Network really, like, allow this to be aired? But they did. Again, different time. Yeah, also John Cena was his dad, the times we were in. Yeah, John Cena was his dad. And I like John Cena, but, like, why? Why? Also a big wrestling fan over here, so if you guys like wrestling, you know, I'm your guy. I talk wrestling sometimes. Um, John Cena, Cody Rhodes. I'm glad Cody Rhodes got to finish his story for any wrestling fans out there again. Let's see, maybe do, but kids watch. Yeah, they do watch 16. So I guess it all depends. All depends on the mindset and your maturity level. Kids don't really understand the jokes, but when they get older, they will. Remember Angry Beavers? Yes, I remember Angry Beavers. Ah, those Angry Beavers, man. I agree. Uncle Grandpa is pretty funny. There's not really much to hate other than his design because yeah, yeah, I get it. Maybe his design it's something. But as far as like the show, I never really had a problem with the show. That was an all right show. I wouldn't say it was like one of those shows that I like watched frequently, but it was just one of those shows like if I catch it because nothing else is on, why not? Same with Clarence. Clarence was another one of those shows that I was like, if it's on and there's not really anything else on, sure, I'll put it on. If not, kind of is what it is. Do you watch The Wild Thornberries? The Wild Thornberries used to be on Nickelodeon, not Cartoon Network. But yes, I did watch The Wild Thornberries. I actually recently rewatched the Wild Thornberries movie because they had two movies. Technically, if you want to count the Rugrats and the Wild Thornberries crossover movie, then there's that one, which is one of my favorite movies. And I used to have I believe it's at my dad's place. You guys remember the Orange VHS tapes? Why do I keep? I know English. VHS tapes, right? I had one of those tapes. I believe it was for the first movie or it was for Paris. And I believe it's at my dad's place, so I'll have to find it. If I find it, I'll definitely show it on stream. But I miss those VHS tapes. Those are some good times. Let's see. That was nuts. I love that line. What do you think about the duck song? I can't really say. Ever heard Fred's real voice? No, I don't believe I have. Hello, today is my mom's Emily's 45th birthday on May the 4th be with you. Ah, happy birthday to your mom. Wishing her the best of happy years. 45 is a big milestone. And I'm wishing her all the health and strength to keep moving forward for many more years to come. And may the 4th be with you as well. Do you remember Rocco's Modern Life used to be on Nickelodeon? Yes, I do. I do remember it. Yeah, Rocco's Modern Life, like, that was another one of those shows that I watched. Pinky and the Brain, yep, Pinky and the Brain was another one. They were always trying to find some scheme to take over the world. I remember Real Monsters. Let's see. Remember Nickelodeon Worldwide Day of Play when you had to go off the air and go outside? I tell you, I never understood the point of why they did that. Like I understand why they did it, but it's never been something that I was like, okay, um, I'm just gonna switch to Cartoon Network. I'm just gonna switch to Disney Channel. So it's like, what was the point? Um, Thoughts on the annoying orange? Hold on, guys. I got somebody at my door, so I will be right back. Just stay tuned. Sorry about that. Yeah. All right. Good night. Love you. I'm back. I'm so sorry. Had to. Someone was at the door. Uh. So yeah, I'm back. Somebody was at the door. Let's see what you guys are saying. Thoughts on the annoying orange? Not a fan of the show. Dislike that show. Don't know why that show existed. Yeah. I know what you're talking about, cartoons, but I need to ask something. Did you like Fantastic Four? Fantastic Four? Rise of Silver Surfer? Thoughts on 2015 Fantastic Four? Thoughts on if you did? Are we talking like the movies Fantastic Four? Because if so, I don't. Never really been a fan of the Fantastic Four movies. Just never really had that appeal to me. Do you remember Cousin Skeeter? Yes, I do remember Cousin Skeeter. Another one of those underrated Nickelodeon shows that you don't really hear too often about. Yeah, yeah. I dislike the annoying orange so much. I didn't get the point. Casper Scare School. I don't remember Casper Scare School. The Angry Beavers should make a spin-off series starring Daggett as the Muscular Beavers. They could. I don't know really what Nickelodeon has planned. Honestly, Nickelodeon is a bit of an mix right now with some controversy and also just they really don't know what direction they want to go in. Rocket Power, yes, I do remember Rocket Power. Do you remember Kablam? I do remember Kablam, but I didn't watch it. Back at the Barnyard, yes. Tough Puppy, mm-hmm. I was talking about with the movie. Thanks for answering. Um, yeah, I've just never really been too big of a fan of the Fantastic Four films, the live action films at least. I feel like they've done a poor job of representing what the Fantastic Four represent. But, you know, that's just me. Brandon Rogers, I have a crossover with Fred with her and her real voice. Really? Okay. Let me know let me know exactly what the idea you have. Do you remember Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards? Yes, I do. I used to watch the Kids Choice Awards a lot. Um, the only thing that sucked about it, and I'm pretty sure still happens, is that like there could be like some great animated series out there that get nominated, but SpongeBob would always take it every year. I was never a fan of that. Like it always just felt like because the fact that it was a Nickelodeon show, it was a dead giveaway that they were just gonna give it to SpongeBob. I feel like every year it's been given to SpongeBob, but maybe it hasn't. Let me know if there was an actual show that beat SpongeBob for that award. But it's always been SpongeBob for whatever reason. Did you watch some of the DreamWorks animated series? The animated series, no, but the movies, yes. Obviously, Shrek. I mean, Shrek is a household name. I mean, Kung Fu Panda. Still haven't seen Kung Fu Panda 4 though, but I've been hearing good things about it, and I believe that movie just reached 500 million in the box office. So I believe that is like the number 3 most highest grossing movie of this year, which is wild. The fact that Kung Fu Panda 4 is like the 3rd highest grossing movie of this year. Obviously, this is against Dune and Godzilla and Kong, but yeah. Until Deadpool and Wolverine comes out, which I feel like that movie's gonna just blow up the charts and be number 1, but yeah. But to answer your question, no, I haven't seen any of the DreamWorks series. What is your favorite Pokemon? Uh, I mean, I'm not really someone who's like big into the Pokemon lore. I know like a few characters like sprinkled here and there, but if you were to ask me like, am I a big Pokemon fan? I'd say no. But I mean, I know it's very basic, but I guess I'd say Pikachu because I feel like to me Pikachu has just always been like a character that when I see him, it's just like I don't know, he just seems like a really interesting character. And I kind of like the design they gave to him for the Detective Pikachu movie. He had like this very like fluffy design, kind of like how the Sonic movies have like this like very fluffy uh like sense to how they design the characters. Which by the way, I'm looking forward to Sonic 3 for anyone out there who's looking forward to that film. Let's see. I remember Exo Squad, good series, but really dark for its intended audience. Exo Squad sounds familiar, but I don't believe I have probably have watched it, but I again, a lot of shows like forgotten shows and stuff that you don't really hear about as much. I have to like look at a poster or look at what they look like to like fully tell you like okay, I do remember this. I'm looking forward to Sonic 3 myself. I'm not the biggest Sonic fan. Like I cannot even know a lot. I don't even know a lot about Sonic, but I do know that like average things for me, I heard it might be PG-13. Yeah, it might be PG-13, especially if they're going to go the route with Sonic Adventures 2 with the whole thing about Maria and that story. So yeah, there has to be like some elements where the story has to be a little more mature, I guess you could say, for certain storylines that happen. As far as if we're gonna get Shadow with the guns, I don't know. Maybe I did hear like at CinemaCon there was like a scene with Shadow on a motorcycle, so it could be interesting. Do you remember Boomerang launch bumper? I'd have to see it to remember it. I'd have to see it to remember it. But yeah, to go back to your question, like, um, I feel like Sonic 3 is just one of those movies where they could build up to so much in that movie because we still don't know if there's going to be any additional characters in that movie or not besides Shadow, but we'll have to see. Thoughts on the Knuckles show? I know there's like a lot of discourse online about it should have been titled Wade and Knuckles because it was more Wade and less Knuckles. And to that, I do agree. I do feel like, marketing the show as Knuckles, there wasn't really a lot of Knuckles in there. But I think what the story they were trying to tell, and maybe they should have just titled it Knuckles and Wade or Wade and Knuckles, is like it feels like the story is Knuckles wants to feel like home. He's still in this mindset of being a warrior. What's being a warrior? What's it like to be a warrior? And he just feels very like not used to being in the reality of the world that they're in. But Wade, it's like the opposite. Wade is trying to understand what it's like to be a winner, what it's like to have that warrior mentality. So I think the reason why they had those two pair up is for the same exact reason, is because they both were looking for something in each other that they had the opposite of, and that's kind of why they played into it. So I understand why they went the route that they went. Now, if it was me and if I was doing a Knuckles series, would that have been the route I went in? No, I would have made it solely about Knuckles, about his history, about him being a warrior. Like all this like leading up to Sonic 3. What I would have done is I would have had maybe like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles maybe sitting around a campfire, and they're like telling stories. And Sonic is like, "All right, I want to know about your story." And then Knuckles is like, "Me? What do you want to know?" It's like, "I want to know about you being a warrior." So it's like, "Okay, cool." So Knuckles goes in, he tells like maybe six stories each about his times of being a warrior. That's how I would have done it. And what I would have done, the way I would have led up to that is you have Shadow on the motorcycle, but you don't actually see him. You see his fur, but you don't actually see what he looks like. And he's riding onto the motorcycle. Maybe he's caught word that there are other beings like his on this like in this reality. And that's how I would have led up to Sonic 3. But that's just me again. Let's see. Do you remember Boomerang launch? I think I read that. I feel Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny should have a crossover. They should. The only time we've had Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse on screen together was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That was the only time I remember in recent times that we've had those two together. Other than that, we haven't had anything like that. Oh, this is going to be my last question. What is your favorite DreamWorks movie? My favorite DreamWorks movie would have to be. That's tough because you got Shrek, you got Kung Fu Panda, two series, both which I love. So I'd have to go with Shrek 2. Shrek 2 will probably be like my favorite DreamWorks movie. And with I'd say like Kung Fu Panda 2 being my second favorite. Um, to answer your question. Let's see, since MeTV Tunes is doing 2000s Cartoon Network shows, well, we could see Foster's Home, Billy and Mandy, Kids Next Door, Ben 10, and Teen Titans. We could. I don't know if they won't because it feels like they would. Because, I mean, Cartoon Network has a segment called Checkered Past. But Checkered Past only show, from what I've seen, has only show like what Dexter's Laboratory, Cow and Chicken, and Ed and Nettie. They haven't really showed any other shows, so I don't know if they plan to do more with the Checker Pass whole ordeal. We'll have to see. Looney Tunes Sheep Raider, amazing Looney Tunes game. They should put it on new consoles. I've never played it. Do you remember the Boomerang yo-yo bumper? I do remember the yo-yos. Yep, Shadow the new Batman. That's funny. Do you like Roger Rabbit? I think the movie is outstanding. Yes, I do like Roger Rabbit. Roger Rabbit is one of those films that it will always be solidified in animation history as one of the most successful hybrids in doing live action and animation in one. Now, live action and animation has been done way before Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but the fact that they did it for an entire movie, is like a completely different conversation. Do you remember the Boomerang toy bumper? Yes, I do. Yes, man. Nice. Me too. Monsters Inc. or Shrek? That's my question for you. Ooh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna still go with Shrek. Don't get me wrong. I like Monsters Inc. and I still think Monsters Inc. Now, if you would have said Toy Story and Shrek, then I'd be like, ooh. Now you got a matchup there. Cause I love Toy Story. The first two for me, I like the first two. The third one was good too, but I think the first two Toy Story movies, I adore those. My favorite DreamWorks movies is How to Train Your Dragon and Captain Underpants. Okay, how do you feel about they're doing like a How to Train Your Dragon live action movie? How you feeling about that? Okay, how about Toy Story and Shrek? Well, I'm gonna give it to Toy Story. I give it a slight edge to Toy Story. Shrek is still like one of the all time greats, but like Toy Story like really hooked me in. What's your favorite Disney movie? My favorite Disney movie is the Goofy movie. That's my favorite Disney movie of all time. Love the Goofy movie. Roxanne, Max, Goofy. The bond relationship that Max and has with his dad. I love seeing that relationship and them in the next movie going to college and just like Goofy being very inspired by his son because his son went to college, so that inspired him to want to go to college too. Like that's just like a really like cool concept and very like hits to home because I feel like there's like a lot of people out there like parents who had like children who went off to college and that inspired them like hey, my kid went off to college, maybe I should go to college. So that brings like another interesting dynamic at a time that I'm sure that that was happening, but it brought more limelight to that. Also, Powerline, banger, banger. Shout out to um, Powerline, man. Like he just had the bangers, and Tevin Campbell, man. Tevin Campbell, underrated R&B artist. Which I heard that they were going to get Bobby Brown to do the part for Powerline, but they ended up going with Tevin Campbell. Nice, man. Me too. Let's see. Must like okay. I answered that. What's better, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command or Monsters at Work TV show? I haven't seen the Monsters at Work TV show. I've seen Monsters University, but I haven't seen the Monsters at Work TV show, and I haven't seen the Buzz Lightyear show either. Cartoon Network don't hit the same anymore. 2010s was the last good era they had. Now it's nothing much. Yeah, I noticed like Cartoon Network now shows a lot of like the 2010s cartoons. Like again, you got your Adventure Time, your regular show, your Amazing World of Gumball, We Bear Bears, which I feel like We Bear Bears doesn't get enough love. Something about We Bear Bears, I would just turn on that show because I was in middle school when that show came out, and it was just very like aesthetically pleasing. That show, Ice Bear, Panda, Grizzly. I don't know. I thought that was like a really soothing show to watch. Um, I know they did a movie too, but I haven't seen the movie. But I enjoyed that series. I know they have Wee Baby Bears, but Wee Baby Bears again, just it's not a part of my demographic. And I just think the show looks too flashy and too googly eyed, if that makes sense. Too googly eyed. What made Wee Bear Bears work was the simplicity and just more of like the again the aesthetically pleasing just vibe. It worked with that show. What's your favorite Warner Brothers movie? My favorite Warner Brothers movie, are we talking like animation or are we talking live action? Or are we talking both? Because of all time, that I have to sit there and list off a name of movies from Warner Brothers for that. And kind of tell you my favorite from there. As far as animated, I'd say the Iron Giant. As far as animated Warner Brothers movies, Iron Giant. But if we're talking live action, I'd say like the Batman, like the one with Robert Pattinson that just came out like in 2022. I'd say that one. Okay, Warner Brothers animated movie. So then does the Iron Giant count? Cause yeah, that's probably like one of my favorite animated Warner Brothers films. Toy Story 1 or 2. I'm gonna go with 2. I'm gonna go with 2. I like the introduction of Jesse. Jesse just seems like a very like just quick like just very fun character, and I mean Rex finally defeating Surg. I mean, come on now, like Rex is an underrated character in Toy Story. I hope they have a Sailor Moon. So you want Sailor Moon on MeTV Tunes? I saw a lot of comments about that about Sailor Moon. They would love to see Sailor Moon. And with Speed Racer, I've never watched Sailor Moon, but from like screenshots and like obviously I've seen her iconic transformation. Her like that style reminds me a lot of Speed Racer, like the old like anime style. Sailor Moon, I could definitely see on MeTV Tunes. Let's see. Toy Story 6, is it going to happen? Well, we do know Toy Story 5 is in development. That's set to come out sometime soon. As far as Toy Story 6, I'm not sure. To be fair, Batman is animated. Yeah, he is animated, but I mean, you could make the argument because he's been in both animation and live action projects that if you were at, you would have to say like, what is your favorite? I mean, you could say what is your favorite Batman movie of all time, and then include it in there. But if you're saying like, what is your favorite live action Batman movie, then you have to be more specific on that. Disney animated films or DreamWorks animated films. It all depends on the era. It all depends on the era. Because if we're talking like early Disney, like Cinderella, Fantasia, all the way up to like Lion King, Mulan era, then I'd say Disney. But if we're talking like after that era, I'd say DreamWorks. But I like both. Both have some good movies. Are they going to get the original Teen Titans on MeTV Tunes? That would be cool. I don't know if they will. Is Pokemon gonna be on MeTV Tunes? It could be. I mean, like I said, we got to be racers, so maybe there are some other anime shows that they could bring. What's your current favorite show? It cannot be X-Men 97. It also has to be live action too. So live action wise, in terms of shows, I've been getting into the show Shogun. I don't know if you guys have watched it on FX. It's on Hulu too, but I've been watching Shogun lately, and I'd say as of right now, that's probably like my favorite live action show. I'm just waiting for Cobra Kai to come out in July because that comes out in July. Cobra Kai is definitely one of those shows that I watch. Big fan of the Karate Kid. Love the Karate Kid movies. If you were to ask me what movie was my favorite Karate Kid movie, Karate Kid 2. I mean, Daniel and Mr. Miyagi going to Okinawa. I mean, I love road trip kind of movies where you get to see characters that you normally see go in these different environments and interact with these different people in these environments. It's just a different thing for me. I like movies like that. How many Toy Story movies is Disney going to make? Hopefully not many because they don't need to drown out that franchise. Because I feel like they already have. I hope Pokemon will be on MeTV Tunes. Hopefully so. Also, verse Disney and DreamWorks. I mean, all time, just like all time. Uh I go Disney because again you got Fantasia, Snow White, Cinderella, the Mickey Mouse movies, um, Lilo and Stitch. I mean the list goes on and on. So it would definitely be Disney. Are they going to do banana splits on MeTV Tunes? Maybe. What about Yu-Gi-Oh, Beyblade, Digimon, Monster Rancher, another other anime kid shows? Maybe, like I said, I'd say like a test to see how Speed Racer does, and you can also go on the website yourself and give ideas on what shows you guys would like to see. Because apparently I can't speak English for the life of me, but yeah. The Flash, that's a joke. Oh yeah, we don't talk about the Flash. Unless we're talking about animated Flash, then yes. If we're talking about live action Flash, we don't talk about that. Do you have a favorite YouTuber? Who is your idol? Well, I watch a couple YouTubers. A lot of them are in different areas of YouTube. So when it comes to watching reactions to just different funny videos, there's a channel called In the Clutch. I watch them for reactions, also wrestling reactions. Kicking It with Ross, he's also with In the Clutch. He does a lot of wrestling takes, so I'll watch his channel. Berleezy, sometimes I watch a little bit of Berleezy. If you guys like Berleezy, he used to do the cartoons exposed videos. Those are like very hilarious back in the day. Um, Obviously Anima TD. If you guys know Anima TD, he does animation content as well. He's honestly the if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have started a YouTube channel. I mean, I obviously had the idea and I did have a YouTube channel before this, but it was like mainly just me doing vlogs. But I deleted that channel because the people that I was interacting with at the time, I no longer interact with, so I just don't want to have memories of that anymore. And so I decided for a while to just stop doing YouTube. And Anima TD, my friend, like I said, Tony Daddy, like he was a guy, which that's his name by the way. He was the guy that really influenced me to get back into YouTube. So if it wasn't for him, I probably would not be right here, right where I am right now. Um, and to give you someone else, I usually watch a lot of drawing videos. Like lately, I've gotten into Jim Lee, which you guys know who Jim Lee is. Jim Lee drew the X-Men. He also is head of DC Comics. I love watching his streams on Twitch. Just him drawing just different like Batman, Wonder Woman, whatever character he decides to draw. Just seeing him just by hand. There's nothing better than seeing someone draw something by hand. It's just a very like fascinating feeling to see. what started from circles and triangles turn into just complete facial figures, just art. It's just really cool. So yeah, to answer your question, that's a lot of what I usually watch on YouTube. India animation is probably the only thing to keep animation alive. No studio interference, just the creator shows. Oh, indie animation. Oh yeah, yeah. Support indie animation. I seriously, there's a lot of really cool indie animated shows that are going to be coming out in the coming years, and I really want to do. I do want to get back into talking a little bit more about indie animation because I did talk about one show. You guys know who Toonerific Tyreek is. That's another guy I watch heavy. Toonerific Tyreek, another influence to why I became a YouTuber. So he's got a new show coming out called Hey. He's been promoting it a lot. I believe he just started a Instagram for his show. So definitely go check his stuff out. Toonerific Tyreek, one of those guys. He does these like really cool retrospectives, and his takes on different cartoons and stuff is just really inspiring. Don't forget Kirby right back at ya fighting Fudons, Shaman King, Ultimate Muscle. Yeah, how they become make new classic cartoon. Well, they decided to. I think because Tune In With Me on the MeTV regular channel was doing so well that they decided, like, why not? We should just do a full on 24/7 channel where we just strictly show animation. It seems to be doing very popular, so that's what they started doing. Like it started in like on Saturday mornings, and then I believe they started airing them like early in the mornings as well. So that seemed like a sign that they've been wanting to do this for a while. Yeah, Rip Cartoon Network. It's not the end of Cartoon Network, and I honestly, it's not the end of Cartoon Network nor Boomerang. In my honest opinion, those channels can still coexist because who knows? Maybe there are some new animated projects from Cartoon Network that we don't know of that are gonna come out. If we had given up around the time before, on the weird time of Cartoon Network when they were showing all these live action shows, if we had given up on them when right around when Adventure Time and Regular Show and all those shows came out, I just feel like we would have really missed another cool era of Cartoon Network. So I really do think Cartoon Network is going to get another era where we're going to get a lot of like shows that very unique and very different and bring something new to the table. So I don't really say this is going to be a replacement for Cartoon Network and Boomerang, and I don't really want this to be a replacement because we don't have many animation channels as is. I just hit 1.6 thousand subscribers. Oh man, that's awesome. Really? No way. Let me check this. You're serious right now? Oh wow, I did. Oh wow, that's awesome. Uh, let me take this time because I really need to really like thank you guys because for the past couple of weeks it's been really difficult being able to do content and just kind of keep the channel going. I had a job and the job just kind of fell through, and I didn't really know what I really wanted to do with the channel. There was a point where I was even wanting to quit the channel. I mean, my first stream was just basically me towards the first half. Should I quit? Should I not quit? And a lot of you guys, Marvel fan, and many others in the stream, like really like pushed me to say like, no, I shouldn't quit doing this. And I don't plan on quitting. I mean, I say it a lot, I don't plan on quitting, and then sometimes I do say that I quit, but I really want to keep going at this because I seem to be enjoying this, you guys seem to be enjoying this, and I wouldn't be where I am today without you guys, like wholeheartedly and seriously. Like give yourself a round of applause because you guys are the ones that keep me going every single day. just doing this channel and bringing my best content. You know, I didn't come on YouTube to be a clout chaser. I didn't come on this platform to, you know, have a hierarchy over the animation YouTube field. I just, me personally, I talk about what I love, and that's cartoons and other things that I want to get into in the future and just be very passionate about it. Because when you're passionate about what you love, you want to talk about it. You want to talk about it with other people. So, again, thank you so much for 1.6 subscribers. I hope we can get as far as we can get with this channel, and just thank you, really. Also, I think Boomerang and Cartoon Network, I think, literally takes one show and they're back on top. Yeah, all it takes is just one show and then more shows to come out, and then they got it. Boomerang and Cartoon Network are just getting started. Yeah, there's still a lot of there's a lot of stuff out there that Cartoon Network, I would imagine, is working on that we haven't even seen yet. That's probably been years into development, and it's just gonna come out and just blow everybody away, just like Adventure Time, regular show, The Amazing World of Gumball did. Because they were all very unique, abnormal shows that worked. Like, they worked. And beloved shows, and people still love them to this day. I love them. I'm so happy they make a classic cartoon channel called MeTV Tunes. Me too. It's good to see the classic cartoons get some love. Yeah, don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. It'll work out. I grew up watching Boomerang, Cartoon Network, and Nicktoons. That's awesome. Let's see, you can count on Nicktoons on anything. Yeah. Let's see. Burger King, amazing. Are we talking like the Burger King commercials? Because is it? You know what? Does anybody remember the SpongeBob movie Burger King commercial? They used to come on back in the day. Let's see. Next stop 2K, then 3.5, then 4K, then so forth. Yeah, so forth. This journey has only just started. We've only just begun the real story. We're gonna finish our story. As far as what the story is, and where to finish it at, I have no idea. But we're gonna finish our story. I love those classic cartoon shows. Yeah, classic cartoons. Like I said, you can never go wrong with classic cartoons because there's just so many. And again, like music, like movies, timeless. Just timeless. You and me both, man. Yeah, yeah. I'm probably gonna end the stream in a little bit, cause crazily enough, you won't believe this, but I've been going for like 3 hours. It's wild. But I've really been enjoying talking to you guys, and I really wish I could talk more. But you know, we all got different things going on in our lives, and I don't want to keep you guys up late because I don't know how late it is for you guys. It could be in different areas, so just give me a few more comments, and then we'll go from there, and then I'll end the stream, and yeah, I'll try to plan another stream maybe next week. We'll definitely do another stream talking about X-Men 97. So if you guys are, you know, into X-Men 97, definitely tune into that because we will be talking about episode 9. Just a full-on discussion about it. I also like the new school cartoons. Yeah, you can like both. You don't have to be in the field where you have to just simply like one era of cartoons. If you like all the era of cartoons, you get the best of both worlds. That means you got much more to offer. Some people can like Looney Tunes, and people can like The Amazing World of Gumball. Some people like, you know, Final Space, which I miss Final Space, and then some people like Space Ghost. But the fact that you're able to accept, you know, those shows and respect them and you know, for what they are, that makes you a better, nuanced individual, I'd say. You looked at the Burger King commercial. Yeah, yeah, it is crazy. It is a crazy commercial, but they really did promote that film. Well, the stream is going to end, so that's all, folks. I see what you did there. The Looney Tunes quotable. I see what you did there. Just a few more comments. And yeah. Let's see. What's your favorite Monsters Inc. movie? Monsters Inc. or Monsters University? I'd say Monsters Inc. Monsters University, though, was an interesting concept at that time. Because I never would have really thought, like, what was it like for Mike Wazowski and Sully in college? Like, when they met? What dynamic would they have had? So that did bring about like interesting history between those two. Also, I like the high school band music like at the end of the movie. I'm still trying to find that music, by the way. After all these years, I'm still trying to find that in credits music, but yeah. Marvin the Martian movie, the Christmas movie. There was a Christmas movie with Marvin the Martian, or is that what you would like to see? This has been fun. Thank you, man. You know what? It wouldn't be as fun. It wouldn't be as fun if it wasn't for you guys. Seriously. Um, what's your favorite Nicktoons shows? Hey Arnold, SpongeBob, Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, Jimmy Neutron, Danny Phantom. Um, am I obviously Rugrats, and there's like a couple more. There's like a Cat Dog is another one. Let's see. Warner Brothers, Disney, and VHS. Oh, hi! You just came from the carnival. Sorry, I'm late. Yeah. Yeah. You kind of came kind of late. I was actually just about to end the stream, but I can chat. I can like sit back and chat just a little more. Marvel fan, you love the streams. They're so fun. Yeah, yeah. I enjoy doing them. I enjoy doing the streams. I really do. Just talking to you guys. Which is the best animated superhero movie, The Incredibles or Spider-Verse? Well, I'm probably gonna be biased on this, but I love The Incredibles. I love The Incredibles, but it's definitely got to be Spider-Verse for me. I mean, I got both of the movies. Let me see if I can actually. I can actually get the movies. Can I get them? Oh, there we go. I got both of the movies. You can see I got the Into the Spider-Verse, and I got Across the Spider-Verse. So I got both films. Boom. There we go. So yeah, I got plenty more physical media because physical media, I don't care what anyone says, I don't care what Best Buy or any of these other companies tell you. Physical media is the best form of media because when you're able to physically have something like this in your hand and you know that if a streaming platform decides, oh, we're just going to take the movie off, you know that you can pop in this DVD, or if you have a digital code, you can actually watch it digitally and know that it'll be there. So that's my advice to anybody who wants to have their favorite shows. Here's another one. Speed Racer. If anyone wants to have their favorite shows that they enjoy, request that there is physical media for it because, again, they're trying to kill off physical media, and that needs to be stopped because we need to be able to have ownership of what we love. That's how I feel about it. Let's see. Let's see. Your I hope Wanehead 1997 comes to MeTV Tunes one day. Hopefully. Do you like Incredibles 2? It's been a while since I've seen Incredibles 2, so I'll have to get back to you on that. What do you think about MeTV Tunes launch in June 25th? I think it's a phenomenal idea. I'm really looking forward to it. It's awesome that people are getting another alternative. You know, for those who don't have cable or can't afford cable or just don't have streaming at all, they can watch it on free antenna TV. But for those who do have streaming, they can watch it on the fast channels. So I think you get the best of both for those who don't have cable. I thought I read that Hanna-Barbera was reforming as an animation company in Europe. Yeah, they are. They're currently working on the Gumball movie, which hopefully we get some information on that soon, because I believe the Gumball movie, it was said to come out this year. I did a video on that. That video did really well too a while back. So hopefully we'll find out more about the Gumball movie soon. You Cartoon King is see your favorite Nicktoons are Rugrats, Real Monsters, Chalk Zone, and It's Pony. Gotcha. I know that's right. Physical media is awesome. Yeah, it is. It's awesome being able to again physically own something and knowing that you can watch it at any time and no one can take it away from you. Literally. What things on MeTV Saturday morning cartoon? Well, there's like a long list. They have a website, so if you want the website, it's MeTVToons.com. Just all it is, MeTVToons.com, and you'll see like they have this big video that you can see on screen, and it'll give you a full on, not a full on list, but a good majority of the shows that you can expect on the air. And there's tons of other ones that they tease on the website as well, like Duck Dodgers, Crypto the Superdog, Freakazoid, um, The Mask, Jeepers Creepers. The list goes on and on. There's so many on here. Snagglepuss. I mean, so many. So just go on the website, metvtunes.com, and you'll see it. Let's see. Looney Tunes Marathon came on Catchy Comedy on April 20th. It did? Really? I did hear something. Someone in the comments told me that one of the people over MeTV Tunes want to do a Looney Tunes June bug. They want to bring back the June bug, June marathons, where I guess they air all the Bugs Bunny cartoons. I did hear something about that in the comments. Someone in the comments was telling me about that. So that would be cool. Other than wrestling, do you like any sports? I know it's kind of random, but just wondering. I'd say just wrestling. I do watch soccer every now and then. Soccer is something that like I said, I watch it every now and then. But I'd say besides wrestling, no. Wrestling is just kind of the only sport that I can really get entertainment out of, enjoyment out of. And again, like I grew up watching wrestling, WWE. I mean, come on, like The Rock, John Cena. Uh, Even now, like I just watched the pay-per-view they had today, WWE. So I'm still a wrestling fan at heart. Bye Bye Bunny, the Looney Tunes musical. Hopefully we will see it one day. Yeah, I hope we will too, because I really want to see Bye Bye Bunny. I think when you add Looney Tunes and music together, it works. It just works. So I hope that they do get that musical going, because I would love to see that. What are your thoughts on MeTV? Like I said, great, phenomenal, awesome idea. Looking forward to it. Let's see. Everybody loves an anime musical. Yeah, they do. um, is MeTV Tunes, will it be on the Friendly app? I actually don't know. That's a good question. Hopefully we get more information in terms of what apps the fast channel for MeTV Tunes is going to be on. With physical media, you get special packaging, special features, and so much more. Yeah, you get the behind the scenes. You get like tons of behind the scenes background stuff that you might not have known with the kind of stuff. So again, like just being able to have ownership of these things is really cool. I also own some of the 1991 Tiny Toons Dixie Cups. Really? Do you have Twitter? If so, definitely share them to my Twitter. It should be in the link down below if you go to the description. Add me on Twitter and share those with me because I would love to see those. The Banana Split movie, Eric Bauza voiced all the Banana Splits. He did? There's a Banana Splits movie? Did not know that. Do you remember Cubo Channel? Yes, I do remember Cubo. There was like two antenna animated channels that they had at the time. They had that and Cubo. Sadly, they got rid of Cubo, so it's just only PBS Kids. It's only just PBS Kids now, I think. Also, I have the Play School Buster and Babs plushies. Really? Like I said, just add me on Twitter and just, you know, because I love seeing like old memorabilia of stuff that people have that they've kept over the years. I just think that's really cool. Did you remember Doug's first movie on Disney? I don't remember it because I don't believe I watched it. Like I watched Doug's Disney, but I haven't like I wouldn't say I was like fully into Doug's Disney. But maybe that's something I need to get into, so I can definitely try to get into that. I was quite surprised a few shows such as Captain Planet and Crypto are confirmed. Yeah, you know what's funny? I was talking with some friends of mine the other day about Crypto, like Crypto the Super Dog. I was like, does anyone remember that show? And they were like, yeah, like it was like a very like it felt like a very distant memory. So the fact that they're gonna be airing that show is like, hmm. It's like they you know how sometimes you talk about certain things and it's like it ends up being brought up in some way, shape, or form. Rather, it's like an announcement or something like that. That's kind of how it always feels with things. What are your favorite Cubo shows? I don't remember. I don't remember Cubo shows exactly, so I can't tell you a favorite. Looney Tunes Collector's Choice is the greatest Blu-ray series too. Oh, speaking of that, I also have a Looney Tunes DVD, and I've had this one ever since I was a kid. Has all the disc in it and everything. See right there. This is coming off because again I had this ever since I was a kid, but both discs and they all work. They both work. So yeah. And by the way, that was like this DVD set right here was like my introduction to the Looney Tunes when I was younger. By the way, the first Bugs Bunny. The first ever Looney Tunes short because for whatever weird reason, because blue is my favorite color, so I always resonated with blue. So the blue disc that you guys can see in here, I would always put that one in. So the first ever Looney Tunes short that would come on was a Tweety and Sylvester and Granny one. And that was them living in the city, and there's like a scene where Sylvester is like dressed up as like a doorman and he's like trying to grab the cage. But what he doesn't realize is that Tweety's not in the cage. It's Granny that's in the cage waiting for him, and she starts beating him. He's like running away from her. So that was like the first ever Looney Tunes short that I distinctly remember as a kid. And then like right after this was like Bunker Hill Bunny, which if you guys maybe don't know, Bunker Hill Bunny was basically like a rendition of the Revolutionary War. Their kind of tale on that. And you had Bugs and you had Yosemite Sam, and Bugs is like charge, and Yosemite Sam is like, charge! So that was like my first introduction into Bugs Bunny, and like ever since that short, like I instantly fell in love with Bugs Bunny. So yeah, that's a little bit of a Looney Tunes background on me and like how I got into Looney Tunes at a young age, and still a diehard Looney Tunes fan to this day. I am. I will never not love those characters. I hope they don't have to subscribe to the channel like Boomerang. I don't think they will. This isn't going to be one of those things where it's like Boomerang, where they have to start their own streaming service to kind of have those classic cartoons because Warner Brothers doesn't want to invest in putting them on uh, Warner Brothers Warner Brothers Discovery. Max. I'm still not used to the name Max. I'm still used to HBO Max, but um, that's another discussion for a later time. But I don't think they'll do that. I remember watching a Captain Planet briefly on Boomerang. Yeah, it was on Boomerang for a time. Again, Captain Planet was one of those shows if you cared about like the environment and stuff. It's always like one of those educational, interesting concepts about a superhero who cared about the environment and wanted to save it. June Bugs was a once a year plan from Cartoon Network. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Do you remember ABC Kids Block? Yes, I do. They showed a lot of Disney, the replacements, the Proud Family. They had Hannah Montana, That's a Raven. Yeah, I remember at ABC Kids. Quick question: do you like to draw? Yes, I do. Now, do I have any drawings? Let me see if I have any drawings. I should have some drawings somewhere, and you guys get to see a little bit of my artistry. I haven't drawn in a while, but I'm trying to see if I can find something that I drew recently. Hey, welcome back, Caden. Welcome back. Okay, this is just like a little doodle I did. And this is like me as like a Cuphead character. Like, what would I look like if I was in Cuphead? So this is kind of like what I did. Um, so yeah, that's one thing. If you guys, hopefully you guys were able to see it. Let me see if I can find something else in here. I have like a big portfolio full of drawings that I did when I was like younger, but I have to figure out where I put it. Oh, here we go. Here's one. Here's another one. This is kind of like I did like head. I did like head shots of Cuphead, Mugman, and Miss Chalice. Did that one like when the DLC was like just came out. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this because the DLC's coming out, and why not? So that's kind of sort of some drawings I have. I don't believe I have any more. No, I don't have any more in this notebook in particular. Let's see. You were saying that's a really good picture. I'm so bad at drawing. Yeah. You know, sometimes all it takes is just practice. That's what I tell anybody. If you want to be good at something, all you gotta do is just practice and just keep practicing at it. Nothing's gonna be perfect. Nothing is gonna be your best work. But as long as you're able to just keep drawing and just keep working at it, you'll get there. Let's see, I'm gonna go back to your comments because I know you guys have a lot of comments. I'm going to do a full tune spin. Okay. I like the colors of Bugs Bunny, baby costume, bonnet, and diaper, and gorilla in my dreams. Yeah, yeah. One thing about Looney Tunes is their way of being able to mix colors and just have like different color palettes is another thing that Looney Tunes is like very, very known for. How good do you think Warner Brothers is at animation? I think they're decent. It depends on it depends on the era of Warner Brothers that we're talking. I do think Warner Brothers animation does have some really good gems. As far as like animation wise, it just all depends on like the era and the artist that you like. that's drawing the characters. Do you remember Thundercats? Yes, I do remember the Thundercats. That He-Man, like He-Man, like those shows like that. Yeah, I got introduced to Tom and Jerry through my grandfather when I was really young. Really, what was the? Do you remember like the first ever short that you watched of Tom and Jerry? That's a really good picture. I'm so bad at drawing. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. MeTV Tunes is a parody of Toon Disney. I don't think so. I think MeTV Tunes is just its own separate thing that's just really shedding light and homage to the classic era of cartoons leading up to the 2000s. You're a bit of an artist yourself, really. Do you draw things very often? Do you do art often? What do you think about the Cartoon Network Downfall the Hill? What do you mean as far as like Downfall of the Hill? Was that a show? Because I don't remember it. But if you're talking about like the downfall of Cartoon Network, I don't really see a downfall on Cartoon Network. I just feel like Cartoon Network is just kind of in that gray area right now where they don't really know what they want to be. I mean, we have shows like Tiny Toons University and stuff like that, but I feel like Cartoon Network is kind of in a space where they're just kind of just airing like a lot of shows like regular show, The Amazing World Gumball. So I feel like there's some new shows that are gonna come out in the coming years. It's just in that gray area right now. Boomerang rebrand channel is still not bad, doing good. Okay. It's been a while since I've watched Boomerang, since the rebrand. But I have heard that they are doing more, scheduling more classic cartoons. So they are adding more as it goes by, which is good to hear. I just really wish you could return back to that era, that era that Boomerang was known for. You draw your own characters, really. You have tag me on Twitter. Tag me on Twitter your drawings. I'll be down to check them out. Think about it. Cartoon Network's not the same. Yeah, it again, like Cartoon Network is just in this like gray area where again it just doesn't know what it wants to be. Like I feel like they obviously know they want to keep cartoons going, but they don't know what direction they should keep going into. Um, and like I said, we're still awaiting like the Gumball reboot that's coming out. So I think what it takes, and then what doesn't help the situation anymore is that Warner Brothers Animation has had some good animated series over the years, and a lot of them have gotten scrapped, canceled, and just kind of written off as tax write-offs. I mean, I still think about Close Enough to this day, and Final Space, and Infinity Train, because those shows had so much potential to tell so much story that they could have done so many more seasons with those shows. And I just feel like we were only brushing the surface with those shows. We never really got the chance to we never really got the chance to fully expand on those universes. But I understand if you feel like Cartoon Network sucks now. I do. I definitely understand. Boomerang is not in a gray area today. Yeah, yeah. I like I said, like from what I've been hearing, like they're bringing back a lot of the classic cartoons and trying to give more schedule to those and less on the new shows, like the new Looney Tunes, which was called Wabbit for a time. If you guys remember that, those shows like they're trying to cut. It seems like they're trying to cut more, less time on those and just kind of bring back the classics. Which I wish that's what they would have stick with to the beginning. But nothing wrong with making change. You can make change at any time. Really cool. You're actually pretty good at drawing. I don't think you're bad at all. New cartoons I feel will come out a couple years, but David Zaslav has prevented some of that. Yeah, he has. He has. It's just really saddening. Just so many shows that we still could have had now, just completely scrapped because it's tax write off. It's like to me like the Flash. Did we really need the Flash? And I watched the Flash in theaters. It was a tragedy. It was horrible. They could have did a tax write off on that film, but no, they didn't. They let it play, and all the people were saying, "Oh, this is the best superhero movie of all time," and it was a big loss for. I believe the Flash was the one of the biggest losses of 2023. So I'm like, they should have axed that movie. It's not only just Warner Brothers, Netflix too. I mean, Inside Job. People loved Inside Job. People were talking about that show. And the fact that they just scrapped that show too, to me, just doesn't make sense. And I mean, even now, people are still trying to get Cuphead, the Cuphead show, to come back, and Netflix hasn't really said anything. So it sounds like to me that either Netflix just doesn't want to do any more Cuphead and they don't want to tell people. But it's kind of died down a little bit, like the Cuphead show, wanting the show to be renewed. But like even then, animation just gets so much disrespect, and it sucks. I still believe in Cartoon Network. Yeah. What do you think about What do you think about the old Cartoon Network and Cartoon Network, and Boomerang? I thought they were good. I thought they were able to try different things. I remember they used to have the black and white segments, late night black and white, and they would show the old Rubber Hose cartoons, late at night. If you guys remember that, they had a segment where they showed like off anime like Speed Racer and a couple other animes at that time too. Then they had like a superhero hour. They did like different things with like old Cartoon Network, and it kind of went on with Boomerang. Like they did like these different events and segments and stuff. I don't remember episodes, but I remember little baby gray mouse from the show and the pit bull, and that would always beat Tom up. Gotcha. Yeah. I believe that's Jerry's cousin, the little gray mouse that you're talking about. I believe that's Jerry's cousin, but I might be wrong. Who's your favorite voice actor? My favorite voice actor. My favorite voice actor is probably Mel Blanc. Mel Blanc, Eric Bauza, uh, mm, Tom Kenny, and Kevin Conroy. Those are like my five. But as far as like my favorite all time, it would probably be Mel Blanc. What Mel Blanc was just able to do, the man of a thousand voices, voice so many iconic characters. I just, man, props to him. Like I said, Eric Bauza is our modern day uh, Mel Blanc. Thoughts on Bob's Burgers? I've seen Bob's Burgers a few times, and what I've seen of it, I liked. I wish Boomerang app had as many cartoons as the channel did. The app only has like 10 cartoons. Yeah, I've seen that. Like I actually thought about buying the Boomerang app at one time because I was like, I would love to watch some of these classic cartoons. But then I realized they didn't have as many as they showed on the channel. I was like, well, maybe this just isn't as worth it. Cartoon Network, do they have no programming block like that anymore? I don't believe they do. They don't do like they used to, like again like the late night black and whites where they showed the rubber hose animation or the superhero blocks. They don't really do that much anymore. It's kind of like the same shows in syndication like every day for the most part. You can say that with most of the channels nowadays. They don't really do those events. Like I know Cartoon Network did an event where they showed like all Looney Tunes stuff back in April for April Fools. April Fools Acme, I believe they called it. Could a Nintendo Cinematic Universe work? I think it could with the right storytelling. If you're able to tell the right stories with the Nintendo Universe, like with regardless of how you feel about the Super Mario Brothers movie, some people like it, some people don't like it. Some people feel like it's too poppy. But what they were able to do with that film, to me, was just like very, very. It was like a very interesting attempt, and for Illumination to really do that, it's kind of bold from them. I hope the second film is even better than the first, and I really do hope that we get Luigi's Mansion in the future, because I would love to see Luigi's Mansion. My favorite media focus is on video disc, laser disc, DVD, and Blu-rays and 4K Ultra HD. Okay, yeah. Like I said, physical media. I don't care what anybody says. Physical media will always be very important and always be very detrimental in times, uncertain times like streaming that we have. Since when is Nintendo wanted to do movies and TV? I believe when they realized with Sonic, because I feel like video game adaptations have always been a thing, but video game adaptations for the most part have been done in a mediocre way or not in a good way at all. But I feel like when Detective Pikachu and Sonic came out, I feel like those really like transcended this period of okay, we can do video game adaptations and do them right. Like you got Arcane, you have The Witcher, you have Twisted Metal, the Cuphead show. I mean, the list goes on and on of video game adaptations. Fallout, the new Fallout show that just came out, that's widely received. Um, so there's just this new era of people are, Hollywood is seeing that, you know what, we can do these video game adaptations. Some succeed and some don't. It just all depends. It's just the risk of Hollywood. Let's see. Teen Titans Go. Velma. Don't talk about those. Don't worry. We won't talk about Velma. So you're good here. I wish Boomerang and Cartoon Network go back to what it was. I do too. Late night black and white was the coolest. Yeah, it was. It really was. And I miss that. I really do wish they would bring that segment back. Late night, yeah. We don't talk about Bruno. Replace Bruno with Velma. We don't talk about Velma. Oh no, no, no. Frank Welker is a Mel Blanc too. Yeah, he is. Frank Welker is. Frank Welker has voiced so many characters too. Do you think, let's see, Marvel fan, do you think you can be more active on the Jace TV account? Like, post more, because I would love to see stuff about you talking about live action stuff too. That would be crazy good. Yeah, I do want to get more into that channel. I do want to talk more live action stuff. So definitely expect more to come in the future. Do have some ideas. So just stay tuned. Do you remember Family Guy? Family Guy's show. Family Guy's show. Yeah, I do remember Family Guy's show. Yeah, obviously. Also, especially with your vibe and your flow, with yourself, nice. You can take people's attention. I really think you should do more live action stuff, like react to movies. Oh, hold on, react to movies or the new Deadpool trailer. Well, I can't react to the new Deadpool trailer because I've already watched it. Had I not watched it, I definitely would have done a reaction to it. But again, just stay tuned. I have some plans of some stuff that I can do. Yeah, Acme Fools. That's what I thought it was, like Acme Fools that they did for April. Boomerang did not have a programming block anymore. That sucks. Yeah, Boomerang had like the zoo block that they had, where they had like you watch Magilla Gorilla. Then you had like the Boomerang Cinema. You had the Boomerang Hall of Fame. You had like the Boomerang along with the karaoke. So they had like so many different blocks on there and stuff that they did. They don't do anymore. I give props to Don Messick, Paul Frees, June Foray, and Bay. But yeah, yeah. I know who you're talking about. Don Messick definitely. He's voiced a lot of characters too. From the Hanna-Barbera era, as well as the other actors and actresses you've mentioned as well. I can't believe Guardians of the Galaxy Across the Spider-Verse are basically a year old now. Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse is going to be a year next month. Wild. And yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be a month and a few weeks. Crazy how time goes by. Both great movies, by the way. I hope Race for Your Life Charlie Brown film comes to MeTV Tunes one day. Hopefully so. It'd be nice to see some Charlie Brown films on there too. Also, Charlie Brown, the Charlie Brown Snoopy show should be on MeTV Tunes. Yeah, it should. Streaming is destroying physical media and cable, ironically itself. Yeah. What do you think about Boomerang getting rid of all the classic shows from back in the day? I feel that was a bad choice on Boomerang's part. They shouldn't have gotten rid of the classic cartoons in 2015. They shouldn't have rebranded at all. They should have just kept it the way it was. And if they wanted to add more stuff in the future that kind of adds to the aesthetic that they had, they could. But as far as like rebranding it, there was no need. Will it be broadcast in the day in the 4:3 aspect ratio? That's a good question. I believe that the cartoons and stuff like the Flintstones and stuff like that are already in the 4:3 ratio on MeTV. I want it to be fit. I want it to fit on an old TV. It should. It should. New Boomerang show channel suck now. Yeah. This American Trails 1992 series should be on MeTV Tunes too. Yeah. Why they ruined Boomerang? I don't know why they did it. I honestly don't know why they decided to do it. I wish I knew the answer. If I could go and ask whoever was in charge of making that decision, I would go back and ask them, why did you decide to do that? Like who said that was like a cool idea to, just rebrand the entire Boomerang channel? Does anyone in the chat still have an old TV? I per se don't have an old TV, but my grandma does. She still has an old TV at her house. See, I wonder if the Little Lulu show from the 90s will air. Maybe, possibly. It could happen. I'm probably going to end the stream because I've been going at it. It's going to be like almost 4 hours at this point. And I really enjoyed everybody who's, came out to the stream and, commented and just discussing and talking with you guys about these anime shows that we would like to see on MeTV Tunes, and just talking MeTV Tunes and just throwback cartoon animation stuff in general. It's just been a really fun time. Again, thank you so much for coming out to the stream. Almost 4 hours into this, who would have thought, right? But I do it for you guys. I'm very dedicated to this channel. I'm dedicated to you guys, giving you guys the best content I know how. And thank you for 1.6 subscribers. We're gonna really step it up and just really do some great things here on the channel. So with that being said, thank you all so much for joining the stream. And I hope you come back for next week's stream, which is going to be X-Men 97. We're going to be talking to episode 9. We're going to give our discussion and your thoughts on the episode and all that cool stuff. So with that being said, as I leave you all in my video, big love to you all. Thank you all so much, and peace out.